Shaka 1, 2.
Thanks, guys. Thank you, everyone.
We did it.
Yeah.
Man.
I contributed nothing.
So the one thing that I did do was try and fix the frame dropping problem from last week.
Oh, I forgot.
Maybe you can only ever have audio or not frames dropped if you're in Brennan's house. So,
Choose wisely.
in the meanwhile, we've talked about different nightmares that we love, and Ugandan cinema and Devil May Cry.
1 and 2.
Which one is your favorite? Remember
Well,
when they made an
well,
anime of that?
only one of those was a video game. That other one didn't happen.
That's true. That is the fact.
Somehow it went straight to 3. I don't know. Oh, and there's this weird other Dante design that showed up in Nocturne. I don't know where it came
It
from.
was really strange how you could play as Dante or very smaller Dante. Very smaller? Brendan, what's wrong with you? Hey everyone, how's it going?
Very smaller.
Hey, Brendan.
Hey Jeff, what's going on?
Hey, I was on the internet
Yeah?
earlier,
Uh-huh.
which, the internet.
Bad idea already,
Yeah.
but I'm with you.
But I stumbled across this thing that I thought, I was like, that's right up Brendan's alley.
Tell me.
It was this game that you play using your imagination called Dungeons and Dragons.
I love it. Let's do it.
It's this new thing, and I thought you'd really dig it.
Here's the crazy thing. We played that last week.
What?
You've got brain problems.
I've been punched a lot since last week.
I can tell. I can tell. I hope that the camera quality is good enough that the folks at Twitch.com can see.
Jeff's badge of honor.
Speaking of which, can we get an update on Bill Leg? What's the status on Bill
It's
Leg?
pretty much all the way gone. It's like, I mean, I'm wearing jeans, so I can't show you.
Yeah, most
No,
of his
we don't
leg
wanna
is now gone.
No.
We don't.
Audio record only.
Oh boy.
It's all the way cured, pretty much.
Yeah.
But I'm
Don't.
super
Pretty
sore.
much.
All right. Well,
I did a lot of lifting.
that
over
means
the
it's
weekend.
time to renew those pustules. Ooh boy, let's never use that combination.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of Jeff's brain problems, why doesn't someone let us know what happened last week when we were here with our good friend Jeff playing
That's not trash.
Dungeon? Is it not?
No, I thought you wanted some.
He's giving you food. You just threw it in the garbage. To be fair, he didn't use his words.
I almost just threw it all over the floor.
Neither of us did.
Well, no, both of us were talking about the stuff. I thought you were looking for the trash can.
No, that's okay.
So I took it from you.
my God.
The garbage.
Nice.
Hey,
Those
we,
look
all,
good, Lobos.
we have a lot of fun here.
Yes.
We do.
Yes, we do.
But
This had to get serious for a second.
it is.
Right.
What happened last week when we put one over on a newspaper editor?
We put
Well, that
together.
pretty much is it.
Yeah.
We put together
A
a
little more
caper
than
to basically stage the train robbery as slightly altered version of it instead, where the Warforged did everything pretty much.
The Warforged's not a member of our game.
Yeah, not our.
Yeah. The one that we
The
found.
Electro Arm Warforged, we pinned pretty much everything on. We made a fake fly thing and planted it out in the fields, and then got pictures of his arm or its arm in the middle of the police compound or whatever. That we got one of the officers to go take a picture.
The
for us.
Citadel.
Yes, Citadel.
I believe that was our large friend Rufus.
Yeah, he's,
Yes.
he's actually a really cool guy. I was on the fence at first, but yeah,
Onion Knight.
he's all right.
Until it turned out he needed a fence.
Yeah.
No, that's someone that sells things.
Hmm.
Sorry, everyone.
No, fences separate two sides of a thing.
And we also met J. Jonah Jameson version 2, alternate reality Bizarro. J. Jonah Jameson.
Who's that?
What was her name? That's a good question.
Well, the
It's
the
here-
editor
it's
of the
here in the
Cardboard
newspaper.
Chronicles.
Yeah.
Was it Celis something?
It
Celis
is Celis.
Celis
Fairbrook.
Yeah.
It's written here in the.
Yeah, if you're-
Why, what's that? Is that an actual newspaper that you have?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Do you wanna hold one up for the-
Sure.
And
That's a
now
good
we're
call.
looking
Thank you.
over the events of what happened last session.
Yes. From now on, I've gotten so sick of Bill's recaps, but I'm just going to write a newspaper every week. Oh, goodness gracious. Hey,
Oh, I get
listen,
the extra.
there's lots of cool stuff in the newspaper. I'm going to get
Oh
to
wait.
that in
Oh,
just
never mind.
one
I'm
second.
back.
Okay.
It's good.
He's back. We're going to get to that in 1 second. But before we dive any deeper into the game proper, I'm going to mention that this week is a little bit of a special week so far as donations are concerned. A friend of mine, his name's Garrett. He's real cool. He's a good guy. He was walking his dog this past weekend, and he was attacked by a dog, and both he and the dog needed to go to the emergency room. They're in a bad way, and they're both alive. They're both good, but a bunch of friends are trying to help them out. So, any donations that we get this week will go to their GoFundMe. Everything that you get, I'll just give straight into their GoFundMe donations. You can give just a little bit. It'll go towards helping a good friend and his good pupper get better soon. Anyway, let's take a look at that there pape. I mean, we don't have to. You guys can do whatever you want. But, no. Actually, so this is a good point. When we've last wrapped up, I think we wrapped up in a very specific moment where
We did.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
someone was back at the newspaper office talking with Laura, the assistant to the editor, and had just discovered some ninjas in a particular magical photograph of some kind. I think that you specifically mentioned you wanted to get a copy of that before you left.
Yep.
Is there anything else that you wanted to do there, or can we just assume that you have a copy of it when you leave?
Maddie will ask her if she's ever seen these people before in the line of her work.
Lauren's baffled. She has no clue as to what the deal is here. A couple of cosplayers, as far as she's concerned.
Those weeaboos.
So many in Sharn.
Well, hey, thanks for showing me this. I appreciate it.
Hey, no problem.
And I can take this with me. You're all right with that?
Of course. I mean, I think it'd be better for both of us if we kept this on the down low.
Agreed.
Cool. Well, have a good night.
Take care.
You immediately go to the next newspaper and you put it on the
Ninjas arrived.
I think we can fast forward to the next morning where everyone is gathered around having whatever it is that each of you partake in for breakfast. And sure enough, the morning edition has some details.
Maddie, would you like to read it for
Sure.
all of us?
Ix is having coffee and a cigarette.
At the same time,
And nothing else.
sipping the coffee through the
Here's the article here. Heavy Metal Menace. New evidence implicates Warforged and Lightning Rail robbery. Promising start. New evidence is implicated an unidentified Warforged in the extraordinary heist aboard the House Orion Lightning Rail this past week. Photos taken from inside the Citadel corroborate the existence of a Warforged attacker matching eyewitness accounts of a large figure attacking guards aboard the train and separating the cargo cars from the rest of the rail. So far, so good.
Nice.
The Warforged attacker appears to have been in possession of heretofore unknown military-grade armaments as well as artifacted Dragon Spy drones. Reporters for the Chronicle were able to locate and document a damaged Dragon Spy found near the rail line path, apparently damaged in the course of combat with the Orion Guards. It is unclear why the Citadel has remained quiet about the existence of this attacker, or whether the Warforged in question is connected to the insurrectionist groups wanted in connection with raids on noble estates. When reached for comment for the story, Chief Inspector Graves stated simply, "Justice will come to all those who deserve it."
Nice.
Job nicely done, I'd
Not
say.
bad, not
Well
bad.
done,
at all.
Russ. Well done.
And Ix will say, "Hey, Brendan, what's our heat level like?"
Hey, good call. So your heat level, which you'll recall had previously been at 4, drops back down to 0.
Nice.
Oh,
Well done, guys. That was really
Nice.
well executed.
Hooray.
We'll say, well,
From hot to cold.
not really quite as exciting as our last job, but it worked.
Not even a word about us.
Best part.
But
I'll be right back.
Oh.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Uh-oh.
there's a bit of another problem, though. And Maddie shuffles around in the paper a bit and takes out something that clearly wasn't part of the paper and slaps it down on the table right in front
Oh.
of you.
You
Yeah.
got a fan club you didn't tell us about?
I did mention them, didn't I?
Maddie actually wasn't in the bar when you mentioned them. That's
Is
why.
it, did you just put a
Oh.
crystal down?
No.
What'd you put down?
Yeah.
Oh,
It was an
Like
actual.
pictures.
A picture,
It was an
okay.
actual
Actual
picture.
Very Potter style. It's doing the little
The crystal wouldn't
Yeah.
exactly.
I was gonna crack a joke.
I'm
No.
like,
Ix will sit up.
yeah. I'm like, oh right, you were seeing Dispenser at the time.
At the time?
You guys, we can get free chips to the Lucky Nines.
Yo.
Count me in.
Done.
Chips.
Oh.
Sorry, what?
Some friends of yours, maybe. I certainly seem
Where?
to be interested in me picking up that Dragon Spy drone you left out of town.
So they were like observing the train, or
They were observing me.
Yeah.
And maybe the reporter who was with me, but the train was long gone. This was taken when we were getting the drone.
So, I think I would like to ask a question to you,
Yeah.
which is essentially, can I gain any like insight as to like the, like the rank or,
So-
are there any like details to me other than that I recognize them as
Ninjas.
members of the
So
same order?
my thinking is that your order is, it's not tiny, but it's not sprawling either.
Right.
And that everyone who has one of these masks that everyone in the order who is an official member has a unique one.
Oh,
So you
okay.
are able to identify, just by checking out the markings on the masks, that you recognize Codect.
Oh yeah. And
Did I say it correctly?
Yeah, I think
Okay.
so. Yes. I'll be honest. My knowledge of how you pronounce like goblin names is I haven't heard them out loud.
Well, I have good news for you. Goblins aren't real.
Yes.
So
Yes.
there, whatever
Not
it is.
gonna offend
That,
anyone.
yeah.
Yeah,
Well,
and I probably don't.
I mean, we should still be cool.
Yeah.
yeah. And I probably don't recognize the other one specifically at this
Oh,
time.
absolutely, you do. So each,
Oh,
each
okay.
of their masks.
Okay,
is
yeah,
like,
yeah.
This
It's like a
guy
name
is-
tag to you,
This
basically.
guy is the jackal. This guy is the spider.
Right.
This guy is the
Yes. Yes.
Psychomantis.
macaw. Right.
Yeah.
No, so the smaller one, smaller of the two, you can definitely identify as Codect, who is the bear.
Oh, interesting.
Yes.
Yes.
The larger, who is the Shrike, is he's not a no.
A boar.
You don't want to mess with the thing. The larger of the two, and by larger I mean like almost twice as big as Codect, who is not a tiny boy. He is a half giant for those that are familiar with that particular race.
I played the Dark Sun video game.
Yeah, me
Most of you.
too. I like how sometimes a dragon shows up and asks you what's on a certain page of the instruction manual, so that it prevents you from having stolen the game. That's a thing that happens.
Nice. I remember that.
No, his name is Harg, all caps.
Yeah.
What's his
so,
mask?
Harg.
He's a shrike, which is like a venomous bird.
Yeah.
It's a bird that's it's not poisonous, but it is now.
Yeah.
It's poisonous in Dark Sun.
Yeah. Yes.
It's Australian.
Oh,
Everything's
Oh.
poisonous there.
Yeah, that makes sense.
So-
Well, Farron, you mentioned before that hanging out with you, we might get attacked by ninjas. Is this the time? It's happening a little faster than I
They
anticipated.
jump out of the picture and start attacking you.
Oh no!
That's like the third caper material right there. This is a little bit early for the ninjas.
Yeah, I just didn't know our relationship was moving that fast.
They do seem to have jumped awfully quickly from you to watching people associated with you.
Indeed.
You were
and-
nowhere near.
Yes, I suppose there is a question of whether they were whether they knew I was involved in the incident and were following you because of your proximity, or if they were aware of our association already.
And also,
We were-
the question of are they going to try to kill us? Like, you haven't actually
Good question.
told us what our risk factors are here with your ninja family, and I would like that out on the table.
So, I know that they originally intended to have me and the others who are on my mission killed.
All right.
Bad start.
This was, as far as I know, internal politics higher up in the order.
But like me, I'm just like collateral. If I get in the way, I'll get killed. But it's probably not like mission objective.
I'm not certain what their greater agenda is at this point. I would imagine that at this point it might be difficult to eliminate anyone who's been in contact with me.
Well, have you done something to upset him to make him want to take you out? Or-
Yeah, maybe this is a chance to mention like why it is they want you dead in the first place.
Right.
I'm curious. That's a good question.
So, as the leader of my squad theorized, there are changes in the power structure of the order that I was a part of. Times are changing, arcane technology is progressing, and some of the old ways that are being, he suspected at least, are being phased out. As a relatively new recruit, following in these ways, and our squad was sent on a doomed mission that was intended, and we were all intended to be cut out. And, I'm assuming the intention was without a trace. fortunately for us, that wasn't what happened. However, like the more complicated machinations of the order were sort of above my pay grade at the time.
Right.
So exactly who is pushing for these changes, I can't say. What I can say is, what was I'm trying to remember the big guy's name.
Harg.
I can't say for sure what Harg's agenda is,
No.
but
Yeah,
Harg.
You have to pronounce it in all caps.
Harg.
There you go.
But I do know that Kodak certainly had a habit of aligning with any faction internally that were opposed to my own.
Couldn't they just send a memo to you guys like, here's the new stuff, let's do this, instead of, throw you in the trash? I don't
Does
know.
seem a little extreme.
I don't know.
It does.
Well, sometimes you get used like trash and thrown out.
I think that's
It
true.
happens.
Hey, on that subject, so you have these two guys who are out to get you, and potentially us. What I'm really trying to hammer out here is that if I take a pretty elf boy out to the Lucky Nines in a couple of hours, are we going to get killed by ninjas? Or can we cash in some chips and try to make some money?
Well, if you want to make
Don't
money,
like that hesitation. I really wanted a hard no on this one.
Well, for what it's worth, I was walking around outside with nothing but a reporter at my side, and there were two of them not super close by, but close enough to know where I was. They didn't try anything.
Seems like they weren't trying too hard.
Unless
to be
they followed you back here.
inconspicuous.
Well, it's been a while.
I mean, I suppose the one thing I can say about your plan is, I suppose the more public your, position, the less likely it is that they would strike. Generally, if something can't be done silently in the shadows, they're not the ones who are asked.
Actually, what is their MO? Like, if they did want to eliminate us, what are they going to want to do?
Probably like a stab.
Well, like,
With a knife.
they would presumably, I guess, wait until one of us is alone walking down a dark alley, and then the two of them would jump down, go stab it, stab it, stab, and then leave. So,
I think that's what Farron would do.
yeah. I mean, which means
Buddy
you and your
system.
pretty elf boyfriend going down the Lucky Nine on public streets, not the biggest risk. My question really is, are they stabby? Are they like the little blow dart things? Are they poisons? Are they like put something in your drink?
well, I don't mind any of those.
Yeah, I know you're. So we're gonna go and we're gonna like do something else.
Great.
Far away from you guys.
I suppose I don't know how much they know. It could be that they're still looking for me and are, looking to get to me through you all to find out, what I know and to try and seal off any loose ends.
Well, luckily it sounds like you don't know shit about what actually happened.
Well,
That's real bad, actually.
it's also possible that they're just here for some other reason, not us necessarily, but maybe something else.
Yeah,
That's
Some
what
other
we
reason that
spot.
involves watching me.
Well, we don't know that they're necessarily just watching you. Maybe they had some stake in the train. Maybe something happened there. Maybe the artifact that they were also after.
Ice chest full of steak.
Maybe
I
they were.
do
suppose it's
think
possible.
about
Maybe
that
they wanted the
theory.
crabs. I don't know.
Maybe they were after the same artifact. There was another faction that was moving on that. They could have been involved. That would have
Possible.
been interesting.
Or
If they
they're
think we
moving
have
to the
it.
wilds, they may have just been running scouts and you caught their eye.
Man, we don't even know what that artifact's all about, right? So,
Sounds like nobody knows what that artifact is all about.
but a lot of people want it.
I'm sure Colette would get to the bottom of it.
Hopefully, but again, it's not really our problem unless it goes missing from her again.
Then again, I'm a little worried about how easy it was for us to get into the Citadel. I hope she doesn't keep really good possessions there.
No, she's not with the Citadel.
Hmm.
She's the special unit or
I
whatever.
thought she worked.
She does work at the Citadel,
Okay.
yes.
Yeah.
But she's
yeah.
not cop.
Yeah,
If
Gotcha.
that was what you're asking.
Okay.
So, there is a loud bang.
Nix hits the floor, draws the crossbow.
It seems to have come from the ceiling up above you guys.
How many floors is this building?
6 or 7.
Okay.
What floor are we
We're
on?
two?
Third.
Third.
We're on the third floor. And after a little bit, there's like another like, not quite as loud, but it's just sort of like something getting like knocked around, and like you hear like some low muttering and swearing. And then there's like another like.
Is it in common?
It is. Yes.
Okay.
There's a whole lot of like clunking around.
So the people are ransacking the apartment above us?
It sounds like there's a lot of heavy movement upstairs, but you also only really hear one voice.
The rest of this building, as far as we knew, was abandoned in Delarict, right? There's not actually supposed to be anyone else living in it.
That is correct.
Yeah, they probably couldn't get past the skull door and are looking for us.
That
Maybe
it's
a
the
couple of ninjas.
the area. Just
Even
people.
the larger,
hustle.
I have to imagine
Doesn't
that
sound very quiet.
even
for
the
a
larger
ninja.
members of our order would have still managed to muffle their sound more than that.
Oh, believe you me, Harg is a master of moving in silence. He's the sneakiest goddamn half giant you have ever
I hope he
met.
really is.
Oh,
I-
he is 100% that.
I like
I mean,
to
my-
imagine him failing every stealth roll, and all the guards are like, "Oh, I saw nothing."
Everyone's Colonel clinking around.
Dark Sun trivia. This I don't know if y'all remember this. And one of Antoria's teachers in his background is a half-giant illusionist.
Oh, I don't rememmer that. That's very good.
I mean, it never came up
Oh,
because he
that's-
was like died in the background story. But
That may actually
Sorry
be
about that.
similar because my like squad leader mentor figure was a bugbear who had to use
He's
a
also very big.
he had to use a larger than average amount of smoke to disappear.
Well, should we?
There's nothing like a big smoky exit for Braz the Thunderer.
Ix will say,
let's go
Should we
check
go
it
walk?
out.
"Are we? I mean, aren't we magically sealed in here? Isn't this room safe?"
Yeah, that's my thought. I like the
Sounds
safe
getting
room.
here somehow.
Well, yeah, the room sealed to where they don't know there's a door to get in. And I don't, the sounds we're hearing, I don't think they're trying to channel through the floor.
You really want something
Does
like
it sound
this?
like they're trying to like dig down to us?
Not really. It really just sounds like there's like a whole lot of like rearranging or throwing things around. That said, it sounds like someone is throwing some very, very heavy pieces of furniture around. So much so that like the chandelier, like
It's,
candelabra, like
shaking.
it doesn't fall all the way, but it definitely like.
For a moment,
I step out from under it.
Art just tenses up. He's like, "Where's Cove?" Oh, there he is. Okay.
Is there like a window to like the outside?
Oh, absolutely. There's like more than a few. You guys are like on like a corner, so you can
Okay.
see. There's 3 or 4 pretty big windows that you can see out.
Um,
But those are so yes, they're enchanted such that unless you deliberately like crane your neck out or something like that, no one can see in.
Okay.
But it doesn't stop people from coming inside.
It's like
Okay.
tinted
It's just
glass.
it's really just obscured.
We're gonna have neighbors. I'd like to know who they are, especially since no one else is supposed to be in this building.
No, I'm up for going.
Yeah.
I can't read with this racket.
Should we be subtle about investigating them, or just be neighborly?
Let's see what
Well,
the next floor look.
If
next
they're
floor
wrecking
looks
the
like.
building, it might have something to do with us anyway. So
Yeah. Let me leave. Maybe one other. Come with me. The other 4 stay out of sight, just around the next corner.
I'll go.
All right.
How many, like, what's the window regularity like in this building? Are there a lot of windows from the inside out, or like if we were to look
Yes.
at this building from the outside,
Uh-huh.
would we be able to see into a number of rooms, or is it mostly
What
wall?
percentage of
Yeah,
wall
no.
is-
So it's not so wide a thing that if you, most of the rooms have a window in them. If that's what you're asking.
Yes, that's
Yes.
pretty much what I'm asking.
Yeah.
Any objections? Let's
So
go.
you two are going up?
We're going up. The idea was the other 4 would be out of sight around
The
the next.
candelabra falls to the floor.
All right, that's it. Let's
Can we
go.
catch it?
I'll follow
Can I
out
roll to
of
catch
sight.
it?
Yeah.
Give me an athletics check.
Because Art's good at that.
Oh,
Oh!
Natural
Seals it back into the ceiling.
You catch it with one hand, you toss it up, and it hooks back perfectly.
23.
So I think what happens here is that like it falls and each of the candles is also like tipped, and you like grab one of those and grab one of the candles, and then one falls and you grab it with like your toe, and then the last one falls and Cove reaches out and grabs that one.
And then just put it all together.
Nice
And,
catches.
right.
Nice
Put
one,
it down.
baby
We'll
doll.
fix it later,
Look,
but
you
let's-
guys head up.
Yeah.
I'll see if I can get across the way and cover you from the outside.
I'm gonna put on my armor. I'm assuming it's not on right now. I'm gonna try and put it on. Is that gonna take a while? Am
What type of armor is it?
There's actually
Medium armor. It's
stats
medium
for
armor.
donning and doffing.
Yeah.
Riveted on.
Scale
I think
mail.
medium.
Yeah.
I think
Alright.
medium's 1 minute. I have to look to be
Alright,
sure
then
though.
Do you have
I
a
won't.
power drill? Or
I won't.
Okay.
I guess you are a power
Yeah.
drill. Yeah. Yeah, it's gonna take a minute.
All right, I'm not gonna do that then.
Let's
Let's
go. So Maddie leading the way. We'll head up to the floor above us and try
Just taking
to.
the stairs?
Yeah. Try to find the room that is above ours.
Sure, absolutely.
Ix is gonna go to. Well, she's gonna go out the front, and she wants to scale a building across the way so she can just see the floor.
Okay. So
Deal with that whenever.
yeah, just when you get outside, you see that a number of things seem to have been thrown out the windows above you into the streets, or there's just like old, decayed, broken furniture that's just been tossed out.
Yeah, she's like, just like a little wide berth around like the disaster zone, so she's not like the hard hat
Like
area.
half a bookcase like flies out while this is going on.
As we're,
So just duck in
I
the
guess
dark
as we're
across
starting
the
to go up, Ark's gonna be like, "How you wanna play this? You wanna sneak, or you wanna just go in, or?"
Knock on the door. Why not?
All right.
If
Were
there
you
is
gonna
a
say
door.
I was going to sneak behind them.
Oh, you're gonna assassinate them. Like,
It's the ninjas.
Fire
attack.
It's time for the end. It's time for the campaign to end. All right.
Park just appears from above the ceiling.
Are
Very
Reese and
good.
Lynn like at the stairwell, just sort of like peeking around the corner or something?
Whatever you like.
Reese is keeping the couch warm, just reading.
Oh, are you still back downstairs? Okay.
Bless you.
I gotta defend the base. You know?
Yeah.
So
It's important.
you find the room, no problem.
Yeah.
The door is just sort of like flapping open. It's barely attached on the hinges anyway. And there is sort of a weird pale blue light coming in from inside the room.
All right. Is there like room on the sides of this doorway?
Yeah, it's like a T-junction in a hallway, kind of like yours.
All right. Standing clear of the doorway, just to the side of it, so she's not directly in the path. Maddie will shout, "Hey, what's going on in there?"
Ark knocks on the door.
Just,
The door falls
the
off.
door falls off.
What'd you go and do that for?
You said to knock on the door.
Wait,
Well, that was before I saw the.
I knocked on.
so the door actually like levitates up and like hovers in mid-air like it's trying to like reattach, and then it just sort of drops again when it becomes clear that it's not gonna
What
like
the-
work. I'm sorry. There's no one home. Please come back again.
Oh, okay.
Huh?
Wait a
All right.
minute, no.
Not quite.
Blindfolds there.
Almost got me.
Nice try.
Want to try again?
So it seems to have gone back to whatever it is that it was doing as the clunking and clanking around happens again. Ix, from your vantage point, you can see the other half of the bookcase just explode out one of the windows and just
She'd be settling in like basically like across the street on a similar height building so she can see it, and she'll just sort of like pace along the edge of the building to see if she can get eyeballs on it.
Sure. So it looks as though there's really just like some sort of a bright white blue lantern in there, but you can't really see like where the light is coming from or who's holding it or anything like that.
Okay.
Maddie will kind of peek into the room a little. Can she see any better than what we've seen so far?
Give me a dex save.
Okay.
Oh no.
Onto the table.
Good. That's not a D20.
Why don't you try that again?
Yeah. That's a 15.
Sure. I think you managed to jerk your head just out of the way as most of a couch sort of flies from one end of the room to the other as you witness this sort of spectral form sort of moving his arms, apparently telekinetically, like moving these things around. And it looks as though that there's been like a lot of junk just sort of stacked up in this room over the years, but that not a small amount of it has gone out the window, and the rest of it is just sort of like, it's like most of the room is still in chaos, but you can see clearly at one end of the room. It's been sort of swept and sort of arranged in some sort of a way, and that like this stuff is at least still intact, still like in one piece, and so it's being kept for like organizational purposes.
So spectral form is like we're talking like a ghost or a projection or
It
something.
looks like a ghost, yes. It's basically like a tall man dressed in relatively nice clothes, wiry, wild, kind of like Doc Brown hair, floating like 6 inches off the ground, transparent and white blue.
Would knowledge arcana kind of apply here to see if I've ever heard of anything like this, or I don't know.
Yes. Yes. Give me a knowledge arcana roll to see if you've heard of a ghost.
Well, it's the world, right?
It
15.
is. You have heard of a ghost, and this is one of them. So, as anyone,
That's a ghost.
anyone that's been anywhere near the last war has encountered undead in some fashion.
Right.
The armies of Karnath used undead for the second half of the war, which is 50 years or so, which means that it's not every day that you encounter an undead, but it might be that week.
Oh, they were the skeleton ambassadors that you were talking about earlier, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
They
Oh.
Yeah.
That make everything awkward.
How are they treated in general? Like, if a ghost is like, I want to rent my apartment again, are they allowed to own property?
So,
Like-
undead are citizens. How you regard the undead varies from religion to religion, to be quite honest. Most religions sort of regard the undead as like, your time is done on this world, and you should probably go on to whatever comes next.
Turn.
The Blood of Vol worship undead in particular as having triumphed over death, which is the ultimate adversary, and regard them as like heroes. The elves of Arianal revere their dead, and in fact, they have an entire council made up of undead elves that they thought, this guy's real good. This guy was a good
Keep him
president.
around.
Let's just keep him around and put him on the ghost council.
That's awesome.
It is. It's pretty good. Everyone else thinks it's a little weird, but it's a thing that happens. So, like, you wouldn't have a ghost, here in Sharn as like mayor, or even necessarily. But you might have one like in your neighborhood that you just sort of keep quiet, because otherwise, the cops might come around and be like, "Listen, it's great and all, but we can't have a ghost here."
So it depends on how violent they are, how loud, how much they get noticed. if
Yeah,
they're gonna be
absolutely.
dealt with or
So
not.
it's like if your neighbor has a dog and they haven't signed a lease for their pet.
Yes.
And you're like, well, it's really going to depend. Me and this dog are going to have a few exchanges before I decide how this goes down.
Certain residences probably have restrictions on what kind of undead you're allowed
Right,
to have.
Yeah.
Like, you can have a ghost, you can't have a white.
Yeah, like
Yeah.
no ghouls, please.
No ghouls.
You can have a ghost, but you got to pay an extra 50 gold
Yeah.
per.
Right,
Yeah.
exactly,
For-
exactly. You have
Ghouls
to clean
under
up, you have to
60
clean up
pounds.
any ectoplasm that's left in the
Yeah.
park.
You got to bag it.
Anyway, there's a
throw it
ghost
away.
in front of you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Maddie dodges and kind of shouts at it. Hey, watch where you're throwing that stuff.
It's my apartment. You watch where you're putting your head.
With it moving in this way, can I, from the outside, as far back as I am, can I tell that it's a ghost now? Or am I just too far out?
I think that you can see that there's definitely some necrotic energy of some kind in there, but it's too far to really like make a definition of a figure. It's actually quite bright as ghosts go. Yes.
From down the stairs in the shadows, can I passively smell ectoplasm?
Oh, 100%.
Okay, yeah.
You are a sharp nosed individual.
Since
Like, oh, it's another
hasn't mentioned it yet,
ghost.
I guess Maddie will use divine sense to confirm for herself this is a ghost she's dealing with.
What does that look like?
For her, she has a small silver candle, she didn't identify it as a holy symbol, but it's a necklace she wears, has a little emblem of a silver candle, and she grasps it and just concentrates for a moment.
Whoa, 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 whoa! We're cool. There's no problems here.
No, I guess I didn't actually have to use it. He kind of confirmed it.
Jeez.
You thought you were about to turn him.
I mean, it's not too late.
Yeah.
Except for they're on
Can
class,
we try talking now instead of throwing furniture around and pretending we're not here?
Again, it's my house.
Is there a particular reason
listen.
you want to throw stuff around in your
Well,
house?
it's full of junk and I can't pick it up. I'm just trying to make it livable.
Would you maybe let us help you with that?
Sure, absolutely.
I hear most people keep the stuff in the house.
Well, I'm keeping the stuff that's worth keeping, but this
Oh.
is hundreds and hundreds of years of detritus.
Gotcha.
Like Lynn hears calm conversations, so she's like, coming down the hall. Sort
Oh,
of.
good. Yes.
Yes.
You get on this end of the couch, and you get on this end, and her idea.
Where do you want it?
Over there with the other intact stuff.
Alright.
From the outside, Ix is like, she's like drawing a bead on the like figure, and then she's like,
Metalhead, these chairs are all pretty clearly broken. Just toss them out the window.
Okay.
Whoa. On the
Ries, I
outside
think
window
you're trying to
thing,
concentrate,
Yeah.
and just like an avalanche of chairs passes by the window.
we should perhaps not throw a lot of stuff out the window to perhaps not cause additional interest in this.
Well, it's the landlord, and he's telling me
He's
it's no
not the
chance.
landlord!
Not the landlord.
I like the idea of that.
He owns the building.
Yes.
He does not own the building.
I do
He
own the
just told
He
building.
me-
lives in the room.
He
He
told
never
me-
said he owns
doesn't
the
even live
building.
there, he's dead.
Maddie has put down her end of the couch and is looking at the ghost rather intently. It's like, you done?
He gestures to the other 2/3 of the room, still filled with junk.
I can fix it
I
up
mean,
later
you offered to
anyway.
help.
Well,
I can do it myself. It's just... Look, I'm sorry if I made a racket. I didn't honestly realize there was anyone else here. I can try and just keep it down.
Did you live here before?
Oh, no. I'm, well, I've taken, possession of the building.
Oh, very cunning.
Yes. No, my, old residence, I suppose you could put it, is no longer hospitable. So I've continued on. And, as you've no doubt discovered, this is a perfectly tenable place if you're willing to do some cleanup.
Things are bad enough where you used to live that you're willing to live next to me, and she kind of...
I mean...
The poor fellow bought the building. Why would you
did
took
he
possession
buy
of it?
anything?
Look.
I think he
It's the
came
landlord
into
when he owns the building.
That's
You,
not
you
how
were very
any of
confused
this
about
works.
this, I think.
Look, I don't begrudge someone keeping a sword under their bed as long as, you keep your ammunition to yourself. We're not going to have any problems. I'm actually quite a nice neighbor once you get to know me.
And the story...
Here, my name's Lewin.
Right through.
Yeah, right through, but she will make
sorry.
a polite attempt.
Old habits.
Mm.
No. It's a sizable upgrade from the last place. It was a nice place, but, exorcism and ensconcers only... Yeah, it's not you try and make do as best you can, but at a certain point, government makes it clear that they don't want you around.
Right. When we help you finish moving stuff, you won't make any more of a racket anymore?
Well, I mean, I need to get new furniture at some point, but
Well, I can fix this up.
that would be welcome. I simply want to, make it my space. I want this to be my special place. I can do that quietly, and in fact, if you're going to be out, I can save the louder activities for then.
That would work, but I did promise we'd help you, so we'll help with at least what we can do today.
Well, spectacular. Thank you.
Ix is gonna climb down.
Yeah.
Side.
Lynn's gonna cast a message to X and say, "You can stand down."
Yeah,
It's-
she's like already going
no.
across
Also
the room.
need you. Please get over here and get to work.
Yeah. this
She's
is
not
how
going to
you
that
say it.
apartment. She's going back to the fucking
Of course.
So
Yeah, she's going to Lucky Nines.
pretty
Yeah.
soon.
Lynn half-heartedly helps a little bit, and then she works her way back down to
Yeah,
the
absolutely.
place again pretty quiet.
Yeah.
Eric will probably start fixing the windows first, actually.
Maddie actually seems to be kind of comfortable with this work and is helping move stuff around and, when possible, fixing anything that's only minorly damaged.
Sure. It takes some doing to find that stuff. There's plenty that's
On the
just
ground,
compl-
outside.
Well, there's plenty of stuff. It looks like a lot of stuff has just been moved in here as just the junk pile. So there's lots of stuff that has been broken for literally 100 years. But Lewin is perfectly happy to just let people go when they're tired of working.
Yeah. And
Ix, you return to find Ries reading.
Yeah, she'll bust back in and she'll just like go sit down
Yeah.
like on the couch.
Oh,
by her feet.
I'll probably go back in because
Of
I'm
course.
probably I was I'm not even when I was wearing casually, it's probably still like sneaky enough that I didn't want to just walk up there and be like, "Hey, I'm the neighborhood's ninja man."
It's me, your ninja neighbor.
Yeah, like no, don't really want to know.
Neighborhood ninja, you snuck up on me.
She'll just like pat you on one of your feet and be like, "Well, they're moving furniture for a ghost, so maybe we should go gamble instead."
Yeah, that sounds like a good idea. I guess we should tell them though, but
They'll figure it out.
yeah, leave a message. How about that?
Sure.
Walk
out the door.
Or I'll relay your message.
Oh yeah. I didn't see
You
you.
just appear behind them. I'll relay that. It's my duty.
It will be done. Yeah. Boom. And then he appears like a step closer to the table and writes it down.
Yeah.
Sticks it on the fridge.
Oh, that's very good. All right, you guys head off to the casino. What's everyone else doing?
Well, everyone else
Fixing,
probably isn't.
fixing windows, fixing
Sure,
roofs,
Lynn?
probably.
Oh boy, I guess we're back to downtime then.
Yeah. Feels like it.
Well, I'll tell you what. I'll talk to them about the casino and then give you guys some sort of time to figure out what it is that you want to
Okay.
mess around with. You all, just the two of you,
I think so.
arrive maybe about an hour later at the front door of the Lucky Nines Casino.
Nix will sort of like stand at Reese's flank and let him like
Sure.
let him lead the way. Like,
Yeah,
He'll,
absolutely.
Like walk in proudly, like he's been there 100 times. Has he ever been there?
I think it's fair to say you've probably been here once. So it's not the nicest place, but it definitely is like unlike the. It's in like the top 50%. Sharn has tons of gambling houses, and they have them in a lot of different kinds of neighborhoods.
Nice.
This isn't necessarily where you'd go with like your friends, but it is a place to do some gambling if you're not sure whether or not it's winning that you're going to be doing.
Okay.
But it's a perfectly nice place. You're greeted at the door. You're handed some complimentary drinks. And you are asked what your pleasure is. You want to be playing darts? Do you want to be playing dice? Do you want to be playing cards?
I'm a cards man myself. Saw the ad for some free chips.
yeah, we were supposed to mention it.
Yes, of course, of course.
But this whole
Just right to it.
Hey, give me some of the free shit.
Well, you're with the quality. So the maitre d', to his credit, doesn't bat an eye. His eye may twitch just a tiny little bit, but he's like, yes, of course, please. Come right in. I'll get you that right away. Just take your seats over here, and we'll be happy to get you started off. And, so this is like maybe noon or so, and so the only other people that are there are other hobos and compulsive gamblers.
So we're in light company.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Yeah.
There's folks
Lost
in
in the crowd
Yeah,
instantly.
there's folks in dark glasses and cowboy hats all over the place. But you're brought whatever beverages it is that you might be interested in having, and a stack of free chips, and you're happy to get you're free to do as you like, I guess. So, Ix, are you actually like taking a seat at the table?
Yeah, she'll just. I mean, she's not here to win money. Like,
Sure,
she's
just spending
here-
some time.
Yeah, just to get out of the hideout. And
Yeah,
do something
absolutely.
else. So she'll go to the card table with Reese.
Sure.
I mean, free drinks too. So.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, absolutely. So yeah, it's pretty close to bottom shelf, but it is free. So if you
She
drink
paid
enough
money
of
for
it,
bottom shelf when we were at that diner. So
Yeah, that's a
it was really
mistake.
good.
terrific.
Reese won't try to like cheat at all unless he starts losing a lot, and then he just cheats to kind of make it back up.
Yeah, that's fair. That's fair.
It's boring.
It's not
when he
fair,
wins
it's
all the
cheating.
time.
Absolutely.
That's great.
No excitement that way.
And what are you playing?
Just I don't know, blackjack equivalent. or-
Okay, it's just blackjack. I think.
Okay.
Just to make it easy
Not
on
like
all
yeah,
of
This
us.
Yeah.
is a dark
Block
sun.
jump.
We don't
Yeah.
need to
It's
get on.
no,
not
it's
blackjack.
actually like one of the things in the books was like, card suites are like the 4 elements, and I was like, no, we're
Yeah,
not.
they're not.
We're not doing that.
They're
shit.
absolutely not.
I can't play like Yu-Gi-Oh or something.
I mean, well, if you get high enough level, yes.
Oh, okay.
We'll unlock the actual CCG. That's
Gwent.
Nice.
Oh no!
We just spend the whole time playing
Yeah.
cards.
I think you guys back in Lewin's apartment get to a point where he's like, well, I think I've got enough to sort through. I appreciate the help. I'll, shoot a word down if I need a hand with anything else.
No problem.
Fair enough. Got one small favor I wanted to ask you.
Mm-hmm.
you see anyone snooping around, you mind letting us know?
Ah, I'm glad you asked. There was a fellow wearing some sort of an animal mask earlier.
Was there now?
Yeah, white with red streaks. Looked like he had fox ears.
Following right
Who's that fella?
Where'd you see
He
him?
was
at?
down the stairs. You didn't see him?
Just now? Art turns and goes down the
Well,
stairs.
no, it was half an
Starts
hour
looking
ago.
around.
It was whenever you guys were coming up here.
Maddie seems to come.
I should have
with
done
an
the roll.
understanding.
Oh no.
That sounds a lot like a friend.
Well, let us know if you.
Does he have a twin?
Maybe.
Well, will you?
Huh.
Well, that's good.
I'll have to
Will you let us know if you see any other ones in the future too?
Oh, absolutely. This is a little bit more worrisome. It looked like there was some sort of a vagrant in the building across the street, training a sniper rifle on us.
And as soon as wait, sniper rifle.
God, I wish you shot me down when I asked for a gun.
Sniper rifle is what they call crossbows.
In EBERRON.
But as soon as he mentions
crossbow.
as soon as he says the word sniper, Maddie kind of nods again and seems to understand also what that probably was. So that's good. That's good. Keep that
Wait,
up.
you're not worried that someone was trying to assassinate you?
I'm
It's
worried.
really a
Wait,
daily thing.
you don't think it was like ectoplasm bolts? They were trying to kill me.
No
Oh
one
my
knew
God,
you
I'm
were
not
here.
safe anywhere. Oh, someone knows.
Ghosts have it odd.
Well, you-
Someone knows.
Well, you did throw a lot of stuff out into the street.
I
But
did. I've given myself away. All right. I'm
Gonna find a new place to hide.
No, I'm going to stay here and hide here, but I'm also going to clean up the streets while I'm at it. Not in like a metaphorical sense. I'm going to clean up the street so that no one knows that I'm here.
That's a good idea.
Talk to you later.
Oh, that was X, wasn't it? Ah.
Oh, Bill, I like your character.
That's right.
Lynn, what are you doing?
I'm going to try and find a way of training. Was one of the things that I've been trying
Yes.
to previously. And training medicine was there's like a feat, and I didn't write it down that I was going to go for. I was reading
Yes.
the Facebook post where you outlined all of our downtime activities, thinking, which ones do I want to do? Okay. Yes.
So you're looking for someone that can teach you in the arts of healing.
Yes.
Right.
There's a particular feat for it, and the training lets you do feats. And
Right.
I can't remember the feat name, but
Okay.
I think it was healer you were at.
yeah, I think it was healer.
Yeah.
Boosts your healing magic and things. And lets you stabilize.
Yes, that one.
Right.
Ark will probably go back to his stones, carving weird glyphs in them.
Right. More garbage.
No.
Throwing them out into the street.
Yeah.
Excellent.
He just throws them through the window. No, he does
What
not.
are
do that.
those?
Ark does not do that. I'm working on something. It's a project. It'll be useful if it works, which
Just-
it isn't.
Oh, I
Not
just
yet.
figured out what they are, actually. That's pretty good.
What kind of project has you throwing stones everywhere?
Well, it's not throwing the stones that's getting it done. It's these little carving sigils, but it still doesn't quite work right.
What are the sigils supposed to do?
Give you a little surprise later, if it works.
Lynn, so
I don't like to tell things before they work.
It's a bomb.
Is this a bad surprise? 'Cause you made that
time for the
sound.
campaign to end.
You made that sound very
A
threatening.
bomb.
Just so you know. That
Oh,
was,
it's human control colors.
those are,
It's all right. You're secretly a half elf.
Yeah.
So you're trying to find someone that can train you in the arts of healing.
yes.
How are you doing that?
Are there clinics with a help wanted sign at a place that she might be able to assist and learn as things go?
Yeah, I think that's absolutely fair to say.
And
Give-
she's totally going to be playing it up as a member of,
House Jarasco.
yeah.
Are you passing yourself off as a particular individual from House Jarasco?
I have to.
Yeah,
now
absolutely.
Now that you've asked the question, you
100%.
know. Yeah.
So yeah, I think it takes maybe like a half day's hunt to find just the right kind of clinic, the kind of place that's nice enough that someone here probably actually knows something that could teach you something, but it is downtrodden enough that they'll be looking for help and they'll take you.
Yeah.
that's not-
that's exactly what I was looking for.
That's not a cut on Lynn's character of any sort.
But her experience, certainly. Like,
we're
she's
looking
wandering into a
we're
place
looking for
and, like,
somewhere that's like not so nice that they're going to be like, yeah, give us your CV and 3 references, and then actually follow up on those things. We're looking for somewhere that's just desperate enough to find someone that seems competent when they come in off the street and go, okay, try this. And then maybe it just works out.
Yeah.
You didn't stab yourself. You got the job.
Yeah.
So you're in the low town. You're in maybe a lower section of the neighborhood called Dura, which is a largely residential area. It's a pretty poor place, but this is a pretty nicely developed block. It's very clearly an area that the city cares about enough to try and protect, to try and like take care of people.
It's gentrifying.
It's not necessarily gentrifying. It's that it's not privately developed stuff. It's more like
Okay.
the city recognizes that this is a place that needs some concern, that needs some help, and they seem to be spending at least a little bit of effort trying to do that. And you come into the clinic, and it's very clear that this is the kind of place that sees a lot of action. It's the middle of the day, so it's probably between sort of surges of interest. But there's more than enough people running around to take care of all the folks that have sick children, folks that have stab wounds, broken legs. There's more than a couple of people that have just fallen. This is the kind of place where it's really easy to fall off of a stairwell and just fall for 2 stories. There's a fair number of bridges that just have featherfall charms cast on them. You're not in the neighborhood that has those. Although actually, if anyone knows how to memorize featherfall, if you encounter someone that needs featherfall really badly, there is just a stated policy within the city where if you catch someone that really needs featherfall, then you get a reward from the city. So most wizards that can cast it just keep it memorized
At all
in case
times.
they just want to like walk around town and save people
So-
and just
I
make
see
money.
game-
So wait, is Maddie's city secrets thing just knowing where all these featherfall things are cast and just jumping off a bunch of bridges?
I think that's absolutely fair to say.
Awesome.
All right, Ix. I know featherfall. You
It's
know how to
very,
jump.
Very
Let's do
Mirror's
this.
Edge.
Some money.
But there's a young man on the other side of the counter, a young half-elf, who's like, yes, what's the problem?
Yes, I was here hoping that we might be able to help each other.
We're not buying. We don't have any money.
I'm not looking for money at all. I am.
His hand starts to like reach over towards the emergency button.
I'm a healer with Drasco.
Jarasco.
Drasco. I'm
Starts to pull his hand away from the
very
emergency
well
button.
versed in the art of magical healing. However, as you well know, I'm sure, that's not an infinite resource I have every day. I would like to expand my talents in emergency medicine to be able to make sure that I'm always able to help those in need.
Are you a Dragon Mark heir?
No, unfortunately not.
Then you're attributed once a day healing. Where does that come from?
Where does it normally come?
Dragon Marks.
No, well, there's clerics with healing spells.
There are, yes. In House Jarasco, if you're someone that can do something to heal once a day or so, it's usually because you have a dragon mark that reproduces that effect.
How many healers outside of that dragon mark are there? Like other.
So there are definitely like characters that have healing spells that are in the house.
Right.
But if you're, it's not the experience that you'd go to the church and be like, I need to resurrect my friend, and the priest would go like, blessings upon you. Whoa. Clerics here do not perform miracles for money. It's just not a thing that happens. And to find someone that even has one of those spells prepared or is willing to prepare it is like a mighty pilgrimage, that kind of thing.
Oh,
A lot
I'm fancy.
You are. You really are. Yes.
I was going to say, point of order, in a certain character's background, a very high, noble placed figure was not able to get healing because he pissed off this house.
Yes,
That's
absolutely.
rare enough where
Alright.
even money and influence couldn't buy it when he had
Right.
pissed off the entire healer house.
But I assume Drasco also has non-dragon mark people who do healing, or that they,
Sounds like they
Sounds
do.
like it's pretty
No,
unusual.
they do, but they're really noteworthy. Is the thing.
Oh.
Yeah. Now,
I'm-
so I should clarify. There's lots and lots of people that are trained in medicine and trained in herbalism and
Yeah.
stuff like that. There are fewer people than there are Dragon Mark heirs that have character levels that can just cast spells and stuff like that.
Okay.
If you want to revise how you approach that,
So you're a bit
'cause
rare.
You would have known all of that.
Yeah. But the other thing is, he would be able to tell if I was dragon marked or not, presumably, unless it was in a very embarrassing spot, and I just don't like to show it. Is that the kind of thing people would like? Lynn would have passed off being dragon marked before. Would she have ever like figured out how to like use like glowy paint on her arm or something? Or...
So it's the sort of thing that you can do. You don't want to do it to folks that are familiar with the Dragonmark houses because they have like very basic magics that are like, nope, that's a fake and you're going to jail.
Yeah.
But
You'll get caught.
I think that's absolutely the sort of thing that Lynn would have done in a place that's like out in the sticks or something like that. That's like, yeah, I can do it, and no, I'm not showing it to you. I can prove it to you because I'm going to regenerate your arm. Look, your arm's regenerated.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm awesome, yeah.
So this is the kind of place, the clinic that you're at is the sort of place where, like, just doing a quick look around, you don't see any of the magical equipment that they would have used to identify a Dragonmark heir.
Okay.
It's nice enough that you can imagine an inspector coming around once in a while, but there's probably not one here right this second.
Mm-hmm. And once I've proven myself, they're not likely to be like, oh, the inspector's here today, let's go ahead and get you checked out. Like, is that a thing that would happen, or...?
It depends on how officially employed by them you are.
My
So
aim is
it's-
to not be terribly officially employed by them.
Same.
Instead, learning.
It sounds like what you could say is you could say you're part of that house.
Well, yeah,
But you can say I don't have a mark, but I have learned some healing spells or
I'm
something
gonna,
like
I'm
that.
gonna say I'm marked.
Okay.
This is the kind of thing Lynn would have done before.
Oh, absolutely.
And it's a much easier road to convince somebody of something that they've seen a lot of than something they don't see much of at
Exactly.
all.
Trying to
Even
pass
though
yourself
I'm-
off as the exception would honestly be much harder.
Which is weird, because that would be the truth.
Well, it's a weird year.
Lynn is
for-
exceptional. I'm...
Are you giving me a roll some kind to do this convincing?
I guess that's a persuade check?
Yeah, I'll give you advantage on it.
Okay. I'm gonna find like a injured kid who's like just, you know, like that sad whimpering kid holding their wrist.
I know exactly that kid.
Yeah, yeah. And I'm gonna cast Cure Wounds on it, which will make that all better. And then use that to get the advantage, and my persuasion is... Oh, that's gonna be
Can you stress
10.
it?
If it's a failure, you could.
I'm gonna go ahead and stress it and say that my healing the kid is like the pretty obvious thing, knocking it over to the top. So I'm gonna burn a stress to do that. Is that 2 stress to force it a success?
So you're going to need to do 2 because you're actively trying to convince someone who is skeptical of you.
Okay.
But what is it that you do in order to, like,
Course
push
correct.
yourself over? Yeah. Like, I think you feel yourself, like, you're mending it together, no problem. But you can sort of hear the eyebrow on the half-elf's head sort of creep up.
I'm
His
gonna-
hands sort of sliding a
I'm
little
gonna
bit
switch
closer.
it to from Cure Wounds to Heroism. So the kid not only heals, but is feeling good about it, is really appreciative, gives me a big old hug. And this kid is just the happiest, formerly weeping kid. And the mom is like, oh, thank God, I thought we were going to be here, or thank the Silver Flame, I thought we were going to be here for hours.
Absolutely.
And the mother's like,
The
just
kid,
shaking
like,
my
in-
hand so happy.
Yes, the kid, like, skateboards, like, all the way around the room and out the door.
Jimothy, no! You'll do it again!
Not off the bridge!
Yeah, Jimothy! Which is the name of my friend's cat.
Oh,
The
God.
friend who has a son, James Tiberius.
Oh, jeez.
You love this guy.
I
He's
don't,
So
is the thing.
good. He's so good.
Jimothy is what we call the world builder at my Orlando company who saved all of his JPEGs to the C drive.
Like, C : /
Yeah.
the JPEG 1, JPEG 2, JPEG 3.
Yeah, which doesn't work in Perforce. Anyway,
Oh boy.
Oh no.
But you can try.
it was not as bad as Juragus, who was Jerome, who took the day off on his second day of work.
Like, did he talk about that during the interview process, saying, like, I've got a thing?
No, well, the thing is, he thought that he did, but he didn't properly clarify that he would be gone for the rest of the day, instead of, like, running an errand for 20 minutes.
Oh boy.
Anyway, the half-elf is blown away. He's like, we could absolutely use your help. Thank you so much. If you like, I'll show you here in the back and show you what it is that we need doing.
Alright. And then the deal is she's going to be learning life-saving medicine and
Sure.
emergency stuff in exchange for helping heal and doing general tasks. Or
Yes, absolutely. So I think you've loaded.
I got a job!
You did. You idiot. You got it shot.
She's also going to say that her schedule is somewhat precarious sometimes.
I think that's the
Yeah,
this
the
pretty
understanding
much-
of this place.
Yeah, absolutely. So we'll get back to a little bit of your training and such pretty soon, I think. Farron, what are you up to?
So I remember last time I talked to Maddie about talking to someone about trying to also pick up a partial feat.
Yes.
That being observant from someone who I believe was with the King's Shields. Who would know something. King's Swords.
Yes.
Um,
Still cops.
Yeah, who would, basically know something about, keeping an eye out for.
Last you heard, Maddie hadn't had a chance to catch up with her yet.
Yeah.
But some time has passed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was curious if, how many days had passed and if that had progressed
Rufus
at all.
shows up. Oh, can't
I
mean,
would
I
take
guess-
observant lessons from a man that wears a bucket on his head.
you? That's true.
I think that most of a week has passed by, so visiting jail again wouldn't be out of the question.
Okay.
But back at the Lucky Nines, I think, you guys have had a pretty uneventful time thus far.
Meh.
But, Ix, if you will please, give me a perception check.
Real bad.
So about those ninjas. No.
8.
You're playing cards with ninjas.
They're all wearing masks. And
It's like, yeah.
Ix is a few drinks in, and she's just sort of she's really just here to hang out. So she's flirting with Ries and
Staring
just
at the olive or something.
yeah, asking questions about is not at all paying attention to who's around her or anything
Absolutely. Groovy. Cool, we'll get back to that. Interesting.
Come back, we're dead.
Plot thread.
oh, please.
Maddie, what's going on with you?
Good question. She will attempt to reach jail again and see if she's available now.
Absolutely. I think that you have, a pretty easy time reaching jail.
Okay.
Who is glad to see you, but looks maybe a little exasperated. She's like, "Sorry, I've just, we've got this whole relocation happening. I've been put in charge of a lot of, just trying to make sure that everything gets taken care of, and juggling 8 swords all at the same time and trying to swallow two of them. It's not great. Anyway, it's all just bureaucratic nonsense. How are you? How have you been?"
A quick question: how briefed is jail on current events in Maddie's life? Aware that the King's Shields thing didn't work out, or
I think she knows the shields doesn't work out. Yeah, but that's about it.
all right. Well, it's interesting, and I don't want to take up too long with it, but Maddie will recount recent events with a few edits. She doesn't mention the King's Shadow specifically. She does mention, with some frustration, that she seems to have, after the King's Shield, had no choice but to kind of go back into the sort of thing she used to be doing.
Jail seems, not thrilled, but not surprised either.
And for the record, Maddie definitely shares her not thrilledness over the
No, absolutely,
situation. It's definitely
absolutely.
frustrating.
No, it's, I wish I could bypass rank and give you a job here. It's not that easy, I'm afraid.
No, I wouldn't ask it of you. Having a house as an enemy is a pretty big problem. I don't want to give it to you.
House is an enemy. I could maybe manage to toss you some contracting work if that's the sort of thing that might be useful to you. It's kind of weird. It's kind of arcane. I don't know how you feel about that, but listen, part of the problem we've had is that we've been building all these residences, renovating really. It's not new stuff, but we've been trying to make room for the Syrian refugees that are coming in.
And the ghosts.
And we've been, a lot of the spaces we've been trying to renovate is stuff that's been haunted. We've been clearing out space using exorcisms and stuff, but new ghosts keep showing up. And no one's dying there, so someone's summoning them or something like that. And we get rid of the new ones, no problem. Busting is not the issue. It's just that someone keeps sneaking in and getting new bats in our belfry, so to speak. We can't figure out where they're coming from. They show up out of nowhere. We increase the security, they slip in anyway. I'm going out of my mind trying to figure out how I'm going to get these ghosts out of a place that 20,000 people are supposed to be living in by the end of next month. It's crazy.
Funny you mentioned that. That might be the sort of work these folks I'm running with are cut out for. If you don't mind hiring all of us instead of just me.
Let me... How many folks are you thinking of?
Well, there's 6 of us in total.
I'll tell you what, come see me again tomorrow, and I'll see what I can work out as far as a payment plan goes.
Well, funny you mentioned that too, because there was something else what I wanted to ask about. The thing that seems to unite at least some of us is that we got people looking for us that we don't want to find us.
We talking like law enforcement types?
No, people wearing funny masks. And she briefly describes the...
I don't know if that makes me feel better or worse.
Well, how do you think I feel? They're looking for me too, and she mentioned specifically the part where they've been watching her even as she was out of town. She doesn't mention in detail the thing about, defrauding the newspaper, but, I was out of town.
Sure.
And, they're watching me now too. But anyway, he was hoping he could find someone helping. How do you describe, without being incredibly meta, the art of learning to be more observant?
I mean, it could just be keeping an eye out for people who are watching you, because this does have, as part of it, like a boost to like passive perception and stuff like that.
Yeah, just getting better at being investigatory, I guess. Being more of a sleuth as far as these sorts of matters are given to consider. Why is the Order of the Unseen Blade hunting you? Why? That's
Probably because...
There's a lot of dots, and
probably
connecting
because...
them is like, I don't have the shapes.
It's going to be a butterfly.
The Euclidean geometry does not make sense. Euclid lives in this world. I don't know if you know that.
Oh. That's where he went.
Listen.
Now he's a ghost.
Yes, if it's... I think I can work something out, but come see me tomorrow, provided you don't get assassinated by ninjas. Boy, that's a sentence I didn't expect to say today.
I think I'll be alright for one night, Joe.
All right.
Given everything else I've lived through.
All right. It's good to see you. Stay out of trouble.
Good to see you
I'll
too.
see you tomorrow.
I hope we can help you out.
Yeah, me too.
Okay, alright.
Ooh. All right, so we'll get back to that soon.
Yep.
Who's up? Ark?
I think I'm doing stones.
Okay. So Ries, you're you're not doing bad. You're not doing terribly well, but you're not necessarily calling a lot of attention to yourself. Give me a perception check.
You keep winning, but somehow your coin is vanishing.
12.
Ninjas.
There's no ninjas.
Okay.
Or at least
not
if
that
there
are.
are,
The
if there are, you haven't
The
seen
entire
them.
population of the casino has been replaced with
Right.
ninjas at this point. They're still wearing their masks. The dealer's wearing a mask.
The cards are ninja based.
House wins.
Hang, let me show you with my ninja info card.
Oh no.
Oh.
No, you don't see any ninjas,
Yeah.
which is good and proper.
Yeah.
But over the dealer's shoulder, you see someone sort of flitting back and forth between different bars. Sort of a hooded figure that seems to be looking around herself. It looks like your sister, who's maybe checking out one of your irregular haunts, trying to locate a wayward son.
Carry on.
Yeah.
Man,
Wow.
I really wish that I'd ended the Dark Sun campaign with that song. That would have been really good. I might go back and edit it.
You gotta edit it.
I
Like,
could edit it.
oh,
I might do
man.
that. I won't get
Have
sued.
to. It's worth it.
I'm all for this.
Yes.
She hasn't noticed you yet, and Ix is drunk.
Yeah. Ix is drunk and like leaning on you, like barely even playing. Like, I mean, she's playing cards, but not well.
Yeah. She's like passing in the big blind and doing nothing else.
He'll
Also,
like,
it's not her turn to pass in the big blind.
he'll like try and like block him line of sight with his cards and just be like,
Uh-huh.
"Hey, we need to go." Like
Yeah, I'm pretty much out of my free chips anyway.
Yeah, that sounds good. Why don't we
clear
try
out
and
here.
slip out and just kind of like nod, grab his chips, and then like
Yeah.
Sir, you're the small blind.
you just keep that. I'm out. Just don't worry about it.
Yes, sir. Give me a stealth check.
Okay.
Give me a stealth check.
Okay.
One.
So nobody knew I was there.
10.
15.
You drunkenly fall to the floor, and nobody notices, and you slither there. On it.
You make it out the front door.
Nice.
You hear inside the building, pretty far away, maybe someone calling Ries. Ix, you hear this absolutely.
Ix will sort of lift its chin at you.
You call me?
Should be like, no, you got a fan club?
Maybe. He'll look over. You say she was calling from inside?
Yes.
Okay. Hey. Lise? Hey?
What? Where have you been?
Hey, don't be jealous, love. We're just friends.
Oh my God!
For now.
Ries, who is this?
Ix, this is Lise, my sister.
Oh, then we're
Lise, this is X.
Good.
Ix. Sorry, we've been drinking, but anyways, you know the game.
It's noon.
Well,
And-
it's like 1 now.
Yeah, it was.
Who are you? What are you doing with my brother?
My
Where
name's
have you been?
Rude.
Where I always been.
Where you haven't been. I looked in every casino.
What? What are you looking for me for?
Because you ran away.
So?
It's been 2 weeks. You didn't say anything. You just walked out. And then I find you here with this lady.
Your sister's a sweetheart.
Ries, who is this person to you? What are you
I
doing
told
here?
you this is Ix. She's not my girlfriend or anything. No
Not yet.
offense. She's just a traveling companion.
Oh my God.
Not.
Ries, we have got to go home. Father is infuriated.
Look, I'm not wanted back there, really. I could tell. What are you coming
No,
back
you're
here for?
wanted in that there is a reward out there to bring you back in.
How big are we talking?
That's a good point. How much money do you think you can make off me?
Oh my God.
Huh?
Pretty
This-
fond of you in peace, though.
Woman of the night is not going to collect a bounty
Look,
on
it's
you.
noon. It's not night, okay?
It's like 1. Where did you go? Where have you been?
Places like this, you know, just living my life.
Places like your life.
Sorry, what was your name again?
Her name is Lise Lysanis, but I call her Lise. And I'm Reese.
So Reese,
Get it?
that's cute.
I'm Lise Lyrandar. House Lyrandar.
I'm Ikasa Norwell. I'm not from any houses.
Well,
Try to hide your astonishment.
that's fine.
Look,
Thank you for the companionship you have provided to my brother, but I need to take him home now.
he doesn't want to go home with you.
Well, sometimes boys don't know what's best for them.
That's for damn sure.
Right. Good.
I'm helping him figure that out, and she'll like grab Reese and kiss him like really big in front of his sister. like bite his lower lip a little bit and then let him go.
And like pretend to
Should be like-
like slip. And just, like,
But we were just gonna run.
he noticing the response, he's like, yeah, we're gonna
Let's get out of here, Reese.
we're gonna.
She'll like start to haul him down the street.
You should just go home.
Does Ix like pick him up?
She's unfortunately
Ix
Ix is way too
collapses.
small. Like she's very diminutive. So
Yeah.
she's just gonna like walk and like kind of drag him with her.
No
I
Brian
think Lise just like stands there like,
See you next time you try and find me, I guess.
See you then, Lise.
You just.
Okay, cool.
I ship it.
Anyway,
Into the
Lynette.
sun. Into the sun.
Hi.
Lynn, you have sort of been moved to the main treatment room. You were in sort of the waiting area, and now you're in one of those rooms that has like lots and lots of curtains separating a bunch of different stalls, chairs. There's a lot of tongue depressors in this room, that kind of thing.
That's
I
depressing.
pocket a few of them.
Yeah, absolutely. And you've sort of been assigned a little booth, and every now and then the half elf will bring someone that's got a cold or a broken leg or something like that, or a sprain. A lot of kid stuff so far. Until maybe like a couple of hours have gone by, and you're like, kind of like a smoke break or something. I don't smoke, but it'd be nice.
I sit out and go like stare outside break, which is
Sure.
very nice.
Yeah, absolutely. Maybe a walk, just a
Yeah.
walk
Yeah.
around the
Yeah.
perimeter
Yeah.
or something like
Sure.
that. When a large minotaur comes in and sits down next to you and just sort of watches you.
Hello?
What are you doing here?
Helping.
Yeah, but you don't smell too altruistic. What is it you want?
I'm actually here helping and hoping to learn
That's
to
what
help
you're
more.
doing. What do you want?
I would like to learn how to help people who are really hurt.
Well, here's the thing. I don't know who you are. I'm pretty sure you're not with House Jurasco. But you have helped out 12 sick kids. And I figure if I teach you how to do more of that, I'm kind of hard pressed to figure out how you're going to use that for bad. So here's the deal. I'm Nellie. This is my clinic. You show up, you work, I teach you what I know. That's where our business is at an end. I don't mess with your business, you don't mess with mine. Fair?
Fair.
All right, let's get to work.
All right.
And Nellie, it turns out, as the head matron of the clinic, is astonishingly talented. She very clinically, very succinctly, very pragmatically walks you through a fair bit of stuff you didn't know before. Give me so this is the point at which you can use either a coin to represent sort of the expenditure of like putting in overtime or something like that. Or you can, or you can pass a skill check to acquire additional training points in addition to the one that you're getting now.
Okay. I'm going to try and pass a skill check.
Cool. What do we think of medicine?
Yeah,
That's the
medicine-
easy one.
like,
Probably the smartest one there.
Medicine makes the most sense.
Okay, we're
it's
gonna use
also
medicine
very
this
smart.
time. It's not guaranteed to be medicine each time, I'll say
Okay.
that.
Ooh,
But it is medicine this time because you are literally just learning at the feet of a master.
awesome. Oh, please be good.
Excuse me, the hooves of a master.
9. Not gonna cut it.
No, I'm sorry. 9 is not that great. So you came in, let's be clear, you kind of thought you were hot shit.
Yeah.
Training under Nelly gives you a real respect for what it is that you don't know. So you're learning stuff, and you're learning maybe particularly how much you don't already know. Anything else?
I guess that's it.
Okay.
So I gain 1 point on the healer training
Yes,
feat.
that is correct. You have gained 1 point towards that progression. Cool. Farron.
So
Yes.
I'm not actually sure if I was. I know that I asked Maddie to go check something out the other day.
Oh,
I'm not
yes.
sure if I've actually been doing anything. But in order to figure out if I'm doing something,
Yes.
We're just staring at the ceiling.
I have a question. So there's a report here about a fire on the docks. How close is that to where our prologue was?
Oh, it's in the exact same spot.
Oh.
It's
Oh.
over. So, Bill, if you lift up your newspaper and such.
Was the turtle's tooth
But there
actually?
was a second one.
Maddie asked Colette what bar they met in when she had contact with the captain there. Was the turtle's tooth the one she
It
mentioned?
was not.
Okay.
No. Wait. Yes. Yes, it was.
Oh, okay.
I'm sorry. I did not mean to lead you astray there. Yes.
Okay.
So the area underneath Bill's folder and such is Cliffside. That's the area next to the Dagger River. And yes, the Turtle's Tooth is not only in the neighborhood, but it is the specific spot where Colette had met with the leader of the Salty Dogs. Which is, yes, a group of men all wearing identical, very large yellow raincoats.
I just thought it'd be a really good like food trailer name.
My sister's dog is named Salty. He's my best friend.
Oh,
Hello is my best friend also. It turns out you can have as many best friends as you want.
nice.
It's 2017.
Yeah.
The future is great.
Yes. Anyway, there's some information. Are you going to act on this?
I was debating whether I should go alone or wait until Maddie gets back to, like, you know,
That's a very good question.
ask if we should look into it.
That wasn't a question. It was just sort of a statement.
Yeah, no, well,
But it had an inquisitive tone.
yeah.
You're well on your way to becoming a sleuth.
I assume at this point I've managed to relay their message to everyone else. Or,
Yes.
Or I'll put up a note
Well,
or
you
something.
did the clone and left a few
Yeah,
things
yeah,
in
yeah.
a few notes
Yeah.
in the refrigerator.
Well, they talked about it even before we were.
I
dealing
replaced the
with our new
refrigerator
neighbor.
with a log
Yeah.
and
But it
then
doesn't
took the refrigerator
appear
down.
that way
Yeah.
until someone reads the note.
Yes.
Let's simplify this. I think, Maddie, you return to the hideout and
Alright.
Farron is here.
Yeah,
Art is still carving rocks.
at which point, I'll essentially, like, I probably have a better idea of this than I did when I, like, talked to you in the metaverse, but, like, I'll essentially, like, bring up the story, like, you know, to Maddie and be like, I can't help but think that, you know, the reason they were following you and not anyone else may have been because of the mission down at the docks. And that this definitely looks like it's related.
Love the phrase down at the docks.
Yeah. Maddie kind of looks at the article and thinks for a moment, but
Dire Docs.
what would your former
Not sure if it was them or if it may have been whoever had hired them, but this definitely seems like something we should look into.
I mean, I can't argue with that. It's just, I don't know. Maybe it's a consequence of them messing up. Maybe this Lord Joro character has done some backdigging and figured out.
That is also
what
entirely
happened.
possible.
I wonder if there's any signs of anything else related to that. Oh, I talked to my friend. I might actually have a job for us, which might lead to what you were asking for.
Oh, good.
I'll know more tomorrow. Let everybody else know if they come back.
I think. Unless everyone's killed by ninjas.
I got a new job. I quit the
That is
spy
a legitimate
business.
possibility
Yeah.
right now.
I think
so.
Ix and Ries return.
Yeah.
Looking a little slovenly for 3 in the afternoon.
Oh, that was her. I mean, my character doesn't know that.
It
but-
takes you a couple of
Yeah.
like it takes a few attempts to like untangle yourself from her. Like, but eventually, like by the time they get back, they can be walking abreast.
Yeah, Maddie is kind of reading the article still, and they come back in, even though she's had time to read it based on how fast she read the other one. She's had time to read it like 5 or 6 times already.
We get it. She can read.
Quit bragging.
Just seems to bother her. It's like, well, we'll look into it later. I'm going out for a bit, and she ends up and leaves.
Sure.
Ark sees the actor's wanted ad and decided to pursue Ark's dream of becoming a star.
Okay.
No, Ark's not.
Please. Please.
Bill.
That's such a
This is-
good arc.
This is a way for Art to learn
hate
to
that.
relate to people
Yes,
better.
it's
True.
Because
it's
by
true.
learning mimicry and like how other people behave to imitate, you can learn to perhaps express yourself.
It's
in
true.
truth.
You can also make a lot of dollars.
It's really good.
But
being an actor,
Ark has a task.
It's true.
the Stones.
Sure. Lynn, I think you make it back late in the afternoon.
There's like a larger pile of stones there.
Yeah.
What are? Wait, no. What really? What's the end game here?
Surprise. If it doesn't work, I don't want to spoil it and have it fall apart before it even.
Yeah, this isn't.
I
This
don't.
is
I
a
don't
lot of
want.
rocks.
I don't want to get everyone's hopes up.
Where did you?
Let baby
Yeah.
doll work?
Fair enough.
I'm trying something new.
There's a
May
crash out in
work,
the
may not
streets.
work.
Was that like
What's
another
that?
sofa?
So the
I'm
sofa.
not running scout for your ghost friend again. I'm not doing that.
Like.
So the building across the street has a new hole in the side of it, as most of the junk seems to be being relocated into that building now.
Does this happen while Maddie's still leaving?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Lewin!
Yeah, Lewin is just like, eh.
He's in the other building now?
Well, no,
he's
he's
out in the
moving
street,
it.
like tossing it
Into
into the
the-
second floor of the next building over.
Arc
Just so it's like not present.
Arc opens. Is Lewin out in the outside?
In the street.
Yeah.
Arc opens the window. Good job! Found a new building to own? You're really moving up.
Maddie kind of looks
The
up.
whole block by the time the night's over.
No.
Nice.
No.
Moving up.
No.
Shakes her head and keeps walking away.
Where's Maddie going?
She is going to Mam's.
Okay.
Notably, she took her newspaper with her, and as she walks using City Secret, she seems to continually be reading that article over and over again.
Sure. So I think night begins to fall, and it's kind of chill out at this point, and you reach Mam's soup kitchen, maybe just around sunset or so. And just because of the timing of how this works out, it's pretty busy right now. You actually wind up having to take a seat and hang out a bit as Mam attends to the business of serving, a whole neighborhood dinner. There's lots of kids running around. Zeke gives you a wave, but it's maybe another hour or so, good and dark, by the time Mam finally sits down next to you, pipe in hand. Back again.
She nods. Tell me a story.
David Thask is a fellow been shaking down people in these parts. He's human, and well, the folks that he shakes down, they're not. People need to do what they need to get by, but what he does to be mean. He looks for the people that only have so much to lose. They can't stop themselves from losing it. And he takes that away to make himself feel like he's got something worth to him. He's garbage.
Sounds like a story in need of an ending.
I think we smash cut away from this scene. And it's darker now. And we see sort of a darker figure sort of smash his way out of an apartment building into an alleyway. And from inside we can sort of hear some wailing. Some small children, maybe a baby, seem to have been upset. And there's sort of a family sort of huddling off in the corner. And this man, this taller fellow with sort of a scar down one cheek, pockets some gold, brushes himself off, tries to spit towards the door, but actually he's not really. He just sort of... And he sets off down the alleyway. He's got some drinking money for the night. He's flush. He's feeling good. Things are going all right tonight.
Are you gonna play John Cena?
Oh God, no.
Bill, we really got to talk about your delivery. And also, Brandon is the John Cena character.
Oh yeah, you're right.
Yeah, that's actually true.
Suddenly, David realizes he's not alone in this alleyway. There's someone following him. Someone that probably wants this newfound gold that he's got in his pockets. Tries to play it off like he doesn't realize it. Sort of stops, sort of take the temperature. Until the figure's right behind him.
Standing behind him is a shadowed figure garbed in largely black strips of leather and clothing and cloth that are covering what looks like relatively heavy armor. But the mask is the most notable feature. It's definitely a bird-like mask. raven-like or crow-like, perhaps.
Like a plague doctor mask.
Yeah, it's like a mask. And the last thing he sees for the immediate future is the hilt of a sword popping him across the jaw and knocking him out.
Out cold.
Yep. Another smash cut, I think, is in order.
I think so. He wakes up.
Early yet. Just stares at him a bit. Well, it's almost done. And he feels a little, there's something a little wet on his face. And it definitely hurts a little bit, but not much. Just a little bit up here. And very, very briefly, a finger reaches out, and with a small orangish red glow, cutting to a different angle, you can see some healing magic being applied rather crudely, almost purposefully, to make a scar. So, yeah, that's the last bit.
And with that finish of lay on hands, the wound closes up on his face. What does it look like?
Well, he already had a scar over here on one side that she kind of had to work around a little bit, but she has spelled out extortionist. And
Wow.
yeah,
Is there like a shorthand, like a thieves mark?
No, she.
I think it's like wrapped.
Yeah, no, it's kind of spiraled as well as it can be. I mean, she's had a little practice.
I think the shock of just this last bit of scar application makes him pass out again. And the next time anyone sees any trace of Devin Thrask, he is just crumpled, a fearful mess in the alley where you found him, less a little bit of gold and soiled of trouser. Give me your vice roll.
All right. That is a 1.
Oh,
Well, when you recover 1 stress.
Yeah.
I was really hoping you'd overindulge.
Yeah, there was a 1 in 6 chance of it.
Oh,
though.
you were
at
high?
Yeah. I was only at 5.
Well, that's the way it goes.
Yep. Is the gold amount he lost meaningful in any way or not?
No,
Yeah, I didn't think
absolutely.
it shouldn't be.
No.
Yeah. Okay.
But
Probably
I
nice
think
try.
I think that as part of
She would give it back.
she would
anyway.
probably return it
Yes.
to the family in need, and whispers would go throughout the alleys the next morning that the Whistler had struck again.
there's a newspaper article about her.
What?
What?
How did that get there? Cool.
Yep.
Cool.
Cool.
Okay, so it's the next morning, I think. Have you returned to the Shadow's hideout?
She has, yeah.
Okay.
She returned at some point during the evening.
Okay. Cool. What do you do?
Oh, good morning.
Good morning.
Arcs up.
Ries tell you the message I left?
What message?
Might have work for us today.
It's like laying in her, like it's curled on her side in her bunk. Just like work.
Mm-hmm. Paying kind, I'd assume. I'll find out the details later today.
I don't like assuming pay, but if you can get a guarantee, I think I'm
I'll
in.
know
What kind of
the-
work?
Taking out someone who thinks it's fun to raise a bunch of ghosts.
Oh,
I think
that
we,
seems topical.
I think we might be able to get some insider intel about those developments.
Arcs actually got 3 piles of stones. A large one, a slightly smaller one, and one that's really small. There's just a few in there that look really heavily carved, like lots of runes on them.
It's definitely a bomb.
I'm really getting, like, I don't even know where these stones are coming from. They just keep appearing, and Lynn is the only one concerned about
I know
this.
what they are, and I'm getting stone-related anxiety.
Yeah.
Okay.
You go out like 6 feet behind the building, there's just like a ditch where Arc has been like taking all the stones in the
Minecraft.
city.
Seriously, somebody's gonna notice that you're taking the entire outside world in here stone at a time. This is like a reverse Shawshank.
Well, I'll meet with my contact for that later, but Nix, I wanted to ask, you ever find someone for me to train with?
No,
Well, why don't we go both look?
yeah.
Alright. Well, you can finish waking up. We're not in a big hurry, but
Oh, good.
no choice anyway.
Cool. All right, what are you guys up to? Who's got an immediate agenda that they want to
Maddie
pursue?
definitely wants to try and find training.
training regarding paladinhood?
Actually, the Sentinel feat at the moment.
Okay.
More general fighting stuff.
Okay. And the previous attempt, I think, was trying to hit up.
She was looking for her mercenary friend, but she's probably not going to do that in the morning.
Yeah.
Like Ix will probably she'll like disappear for the day.
Yeah, that makes sense. As a thing that she would do.
Yeah.
Yeah, that tracks.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have stuff for that, but it's not.
Yeah, no worries.
Ark will probably also remind everyone that, you know, if you have any gear needs, Ark can, you know, fix up things as needed.
I think
we'll probably help maintain gear.
Sure. I think maybe past like 10 or 11 in the morning or something like that, Lewin will poke his head in, like literally like through the floorboards, to see if Ark is around to like help with some fixins.
Yeah, I can do that.
Cool.
Can I have a like retcon flashback activity?
Of course.
Because I do think that after everyone essentially once it's nightfall, because mosquito paranoia.
Oh no. Zika.
That Farron may go decide to just look at the sort of scene of the crime down at the docks, just to see.
Absolutely, yeah.
And I'd probably do it like after dark, both to not draw suspicion and also because I have 60 feet of dark vision.
Yes,
and,
that makes good sense.
We'll probably do better than average at trying to look to try and find any evidence of foul play, like down around the
Sure.
like assuming, well, first of all, like observing from a distance to see if the remains of the turtle's tooth is under guard by like existing law
Yeah, so
enforcement.
it's still being worked on by the authorities.
But-
It?
No.
Let's all work on it.
I don't actually see it. I'm just
Okay.
trying to
It's over there. It's behind
So,
you.
growing up in my household, it was like a point of contention that like you
Oh,
had.
I see it.
Yeah, it's very visible when it's near the light.
No, when I see it against the maps actually help. It's back against the wall.
Yeah.
It's on the lamp.
I'm actually tracing.
Yeah,
Oh
yeah.
wait, there's
Yeah.
okay. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway,
It's in the walls.
Coming out of the goddamn, they're in the walls.
Anyway.
No, this is way more interesting.
Yeah, seriously.
You do it?
I think that's just pencil. I can't tell.
How do you catch a pencil?
No. I was holding this pencil.
Have
earlier.
you heard of pencil flies?
Oh, somebody's down over here. Okay. Anyway.
Cool. Good job. Pull
So, the Citadel is still like recovering bodies from out of this place, and they're still conducting their own investigation. So, it's not like completely like heavily under guard. There's maybe one or two guards, but at the same time, they're not necessarily like on high alert. Given that you're, is there another one?
I don't see another one.
Oh, okay.
We're all worried.
Of all the kinds of things I want to like spawn gauntlet style in my Dungeons and Dragons room, mosquitoes are not the thing. I'd
Pullos
love-
would be fine.
No, that's too many.
Coconut crabs.
I wouldn't. I'd
Yeah.
confuse them with
More
the
these
original.
guys.
Oh,
Yeah, crabs. Now we're talking.
No.
What about like half-size pillows?
I thought you were talking about the crime scene.
Sorry. No, keep going.
No
Quarter
pillows
size.
were hurt in the burning down of this tavern. 100 horse-sized pillows.
He said half size.
Or
One pillow-sized horse.
Yes.
That would be the cutest horse.
That would be very good.
I want to see a full-size
Oh boy. Just a horse but with Polo's eyes.
I'm just terrified of 100 horse-sized polos.
Yeah.
100 horse-eyed pillows.
Horse-sized.
It would be like that one mythological guy that was just full of eyeballs. He
No.
looked like Carl from that one Aqua Teen episode.
Oh no.
No.
Anyway,
Yeah,
Okay.
it's nighttime, and I'm taking a look at this.
It is nighttime.
There are still guards.
there's
around.
like one or two guards. They're not on a high alert, but there's not like they don't expect a lot of people to come around like messing with the crime scene,
Right.
particularly when it's like burnt timbers.
Yes.
But that said, there are maybe some bodies in there. Like the entire thing, it was maybe like a 3-story building and it's collapsed in
Yeah.
on itself. So they just haven't had the time to clear everything away and like say for sure, like, nope, no more bodies in there. And if someone does like upset it, there's a non-zero chance that a revenant will come back and be like, "Why didn't you bury me? I loved this bar,"
He'll sit in an imaginary
Fair
stool
enough.
and kill everyone that approaches
and
them.
kill everyone.
Give me a perception check.
All right. Okay, that is 16.
16. You were being followed by ninjas.
Uh-huh.
Oh, I hate when that happens.
Ninja disappeared. Wait, they can do that too.
Like, by at what distance?
So you are maybe, you're 60 feet away.
Mm-hmm.
You suspect that you're being followed by someone that is higher up the cliff than you.
Mm-hmm.
So just real quick to give you like a little bit of a layout. You know, there's lots and lots of docks and stuff in front of you. There are a number of huts and stuff that are built on stilts, which is, I think you're maybe like on one of the roofs of those. There are more that are sort of built out of caves that are up on the cliffs up above you. And there are also big MMO style elevators that like literally like take people up and down the cliff up to where the rest of the city is.
Okay. Well, at this point, I think I may want to shift my objective to just losing them.
Okay. I thought for a second you said you were going to be like, well, I'm just going to end my flashback and I'm back at
Abort. Cancel button.
So,
You hit the escape on the cinematic and it
Yeah,
just
would
doesn't
you like to
happen.
skip this cutscene?
Yep. Okay, so you're going to try and shake them.
yes.
How are you going to do that?
Let's
QTEs.
see.
Kill them all.
You have
That's one
in
way to
front of
escape.
you 2 guards, a burned down tavern, and a harbor.
Obvious
Right.
exits are north, south, and west.
Yeah, so...
There's north, south, and boats.
Well, boats have worked in the past.
It's true.
But, at the same time, I don't want to draw a lot of attention. I'm trying to think of how to get to somewhere that they wouldn't expect me to get. Because I was thinking about trying to, like, how far is it to one of the elevators?
It's not too far. Like, you could probably do a ninja jump from where you're at and probably land on or under one of them.
Yeah, but how to misdirect that, I guess. Because a jump would be clearly visible from
Sure.
above.
I mean, here's your team. Ask them for ideas.
I don't want to like take the driver's seat for your ninja character.
Yeah.
But you should start like ninja running down the cliff and then stealth under one of the elevators.
Well,
and
yeah, yeah,
cling
yeah.
to it so
Yeah.
that they bypass you and you're like.
I
this.
definitely wanted to get underneath the elevator. I was just trying to figure out...
Act like you're like goat hopping down the cliff and get them to follow you, and then use your stealth to sneak under one.
Do you have something that they might consider continuing to follow once you start running?
Not on my person that I can think of.
Is there a flashback that you could have
Yeah,
to give
to
yourself
give
one of
myself
those
something.
things?
Inception flashback.
An inflatable ninja that you just sort of like float
Which is
off.
really just
Yeah.
that he didn't have to.
Yes.
You knew that there are ninjas in the
Following.
neighborhood.
Alright.
Yes.
No ninja can resist a letter, a written note that you left on the ground.
That's why you always leave a note. Or a porn mag.
So,
Possibly
Metal Gear?
flashback to get Maddie to tell you the best route there and back. City secrets.
that's also good. I was thinking that, like, that definitely sounds like something I would have done.
A one-time use grappling hook for Mark.
Yeah. Although I was also trying to think of how to work in like misdirection into it.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I feel like the
So the catch here being that Farron is very anti-magical item.
And also level 1.
Yeah. Yes.
yeah. So what I think that might be possible though is something that I have perhaps gotten away with in the past is absconding with boats.
Yes,
And
that is true.
it might be essentially like I don't have the like it's not like we're not under like anime physics where I can just put a like full-size dummy of somebody. But what I could have done previously, or well, I don't know if I would have been able to do it earlier in the day here,
Maybe.
but perhaps put like a cloak-like garment around like one of the boats and just cut it loose.
Okay.
Like essentially like jump down off the building and like kind of cut loose to essentially have like what looks like escape boat going one way.
That's very good.
And then run under the elevator as soon as it's caught the eye of someone above.
Sure. So what I think is, I don't think you'll need necessarily to make a check, but that will be a one stress thing to have set that up beforehand, and just walk us through like you detect these guys, and how do you execute this getaway?
Perhaps we're on like a.
So you're on like the roof of like a stilts building. You're not,
Yeah.
you know, it's kind of Venetian in that there's, you know, canals and such around.
So perhaps I'm like wearing some sort of like cloak-like garment going out for the night, and in my flashback, I essentially brought like a second
of course.
like garment that's
As
like
you do.
And essentially like jump down and like sort of unfurl it and like wrap it around like part of a like one of the sort of gondola type boats. And then just, you know, like subtly like cut it loose and kind of like while I'm essentially line of sight is blocked, so that it starts to sort of drift out to sea. Not even necessarily for them to be like, aha, that's like, it's gonna not necessarily fool them for long, just long enough to like take the
Sure. So these guys, I
sneakiest
think,
route.
these guys, I think, are like watching, and they lost sight of you, but they catch sight of this canoe basically like
Yeah.
drifting downstream, and that grabs their attention long enough for you to maybe like emissary of hell your way underneath one of these elevators. All right, what's a good check for? Let's just use stealth, I think, for climbing underneath one of these things and Spider-Manning your way out.
Oh, it's a 16.
Yeah, I
So-
saw the 1 and not the 6.
So that's a total of 21.
That's very good. I think you managed to sneak like a spider who can do things that a spider can do. Ride the elevator up. Make sure that the coast is clear when you arrive back to the rest of the city. And sneak your way back to the Shadows hideout. Well done.
Whew.
Flashback.
Cool.
Flashback within flashback.
No, it's good. It's good. Good. Ries, what are you up to?
So Reese is gonna be reading, and then like he's gonna perk up and be like, ah, crap! And he's gonna pull out the magic camera and be like, I gotta go return this. Gotta have that. So,
Alright. Want me to help with that? I helped you get it in the first place.
you know what? I think I'm just gonna leave it on his doorstep.
This is really embarrassing at this point.
We need another one. Somebody else can get one.
Just like give it to the guy and then just run. Like, but don't leave it on the doorstep in case like somebody else steals the camera that's of no value.
Yeah, you
if don't
got
mark.
to make sure he gets it.
Yeah.
I could return it and say that you just told me to and I'm your servant or something like that.
Not much point in yelling at a servant.
That sounds good. Here you go.
I just tosses it out a window.
God damn it! These are all so good. You can't keep going back on them. You tell me you're going to be an actor. You ruined my dreams. I got dreams, Bill.
You really should do the acting.
Don't let your dreams
No, it's too
be
late. I was
dreams.
going to have some other different dream.
It's gonna,
That dream's already been squashed. Squashed like a bug.
That's what Ikasa's doing today, by
It's
the way.
true. It's
She's
true.
acting right
Oh,
now.
of course. But she's just like on a trash can or a mailbox.
Oscar the Grouch.
Performing for like a propped up room or something. Just super high. You're just like, yeah.
She's named Lise. All right, Ark, you have this camera and you return it to the shop.
Oh, my master said to give this back to you.
It's daylight.
I was just told to give it back to you.
That'll be 1 coin.
Oh, I haven't got a coin on me.
Well, you can't return it to me then.
I was told to return it to you.
Well,
do
you're
my
gonna have to
job.
return it tomorrow and bring the additional 1 coin for the day today that it's late.
I mean,
Put it on his doorstep and run.
that's what I was told to do.
I understand that that's what you were told to do. That's been made abundantly clear. Well, I have a signed contract from Jonathan Carpenter saying that he paid additional 1 coin for each day that it's late.
Master Carpenter was really explicit about me returning this camera. I gotta do my job.
You. I mean, the debt's going to continue to accrue. Okay.
This is great.
This is a very important question. Did you erase the contents of the camera?
So I thought about that, and I was like, I thought that I
I thought I
remember
thought,
whenever
yeah.
you like Well, you said like after the day period or whatever. Like I thought it like locked, and then I guess can he not delete?
Well, no, we took the memory card
so
out.
we took the crystal.
That's true.
I'm gonna say we took the crystals out.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
Well, then it came with one.
it's true.
We didn't return, I think.
They're probably
Okay, no, I think that is a much more believable thing.
Yeah.
I think we gave that to the editor.
Yeah.
Orders, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the crystal.
Well, no, but okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, the memory crystal is missing. That's going to be an additional charge.
Oh. I could relay that to Master Cop.
I'd recommend that.
Okay. You got a note, I guess? Or should
Yeah,
I just
hang
tell
on.
it to him in person?
I mean, if you want to write it down, I can lend you a scrap of paper. Hang on.
Take a picture of it.
And he rips off some receipt paper. Here.
Okay.
He doesn't
You
know how
asked
to
for it.
write.
No, that's... Art takes a look at
I
it.
don't know why this is so difficult. Did he not tell you what you think about this transaction? Are you new?
I was just told to return it.
He doesn't seem like a very good boss. This is being straightforward.
To be honest, no, he's not. But that's just between us.
Oh, I understand.
All right. Okay.
I triple dog dare you to try to get a job at this.
Yes!
So
Not fucking around with you right now, Billiam.
if I remember correctly, Ark was the one that ID'd this place, but decided not to go in because he's sort of on bad terms
Oh.
with
Yeah.
these folks.
Never mind.
Oh, that's even better.
Not with this guy in particular.
Yeah.
Get a job there under this guy, and then the other guys will be like, what?
Art's on bad terms with the local artisans.
Right, sure.
Oh, no.
Right. Okay. Sure. We'll get this back to you promptly.
Good. Great. Thank you.
Art
What?
walks out.
Oh, I was waiting for Ark to just stand there and not leave.
For a
It's
little
like
bit.
10 minutes.
Yeah.
That's fine.
Right.
He hit the wait button, and he accidentally put in a few too many hours, and so the shopkeeper's like, what the
He's just waiting for an opportunity to put a pot on the shopkeeper's head so he can steal like a block of cheese or something. Stop that. Hey.
But he can't see him doing it, so it's good. I'm scot-free.
It's true.
All right.
Maddie.
Maddie was waiting for Ix to get back.
Ix, what are you doing?
Yeah.
She'll pursue Maddie's business later in the day.
Acting for a broom.
Yeah, right now she's just high in an alleyway. No, I assure you it's more depressing.
Good.
So Ix would just like walk out the door. Like Ix is in real wretched condition considering that she didn't eat yesterday. Just drank a lot.
You got some free chips?
No, I think that was probably just like
Not those kinds of
I side note, Ark, legitimately, I thought they were
Yeah.
talking about like potato chips because
Yeah.
like
You're
we're
like,
no,
score.
so side note, we're in fucking Austin, Texas. Every place has free chips, and so seeing free chips in an advertisement, our brains went to the correct place.
I like very much the idea of Ark reading the same ad, arriving at the Lucky Nines, getting a free stack of chips, and immediately gobbling them, saying thanks.
No,
Actually, Art probably would devour their casino
Of
chips.
course.
That would be so good.
no, we can cut to Ix and she's
Crispy, a bit different, but I'll take it.
she's like alone outside the city and like sort of like fights with this shed door to pull open this like water warped and old like storage shed and digs out some like rusty farm tools. And behind her there's just like this small like farmstead, but it's not even in disrepair. It is in ruins. Like it's clearly not been touched in probably a decade.
Very
It's like-
overgrown.
yeah, it's like overgrown, rocks, everything. There's like a farmhouse, but it's what is standing of it would absolutely not be safe at all to go inside. And she'll just sort of like drag herself out and just like start cutting at some of these massive weeds and like digging up rocks with her bare hands and stuff. And she'll just spend hours and hours out there, but just as like a small high person alone, like it doesn't look any different like as the sun starts to set. And she'll go and like store her tools back and like slam the door on the shed. And it,
So this is Ix's farmstead.
Yeah.
Just in case anyone doesn't know, this is like actually like her
Yes.
family had this.
yeah, this is yeah. She's
Doesn't
like,
just-
like,
this is a
purely
farmstead.
recreational.
Anyway, the rest of the game is just
It's Harvest Moon now.
bad Stardew Valley now.
But yeah, she'll like slam the shed door shut, but it like
Dark
falls
Souls Valley.
funny on the hinges, and she'll like fight with it for a second and like try to get it in place,
she
and then just
loses.
break down crying. Oh. And then like
Not
cut
from
to,
sad, just from tired.
then just like cut to her walking back into the
Oh no.
hideout like nothing's happened.
Do you like dirt on you and stuff?
Yeah, she'd be dirty.
She
and
always has
gross,
Like,
but-
seriously, this is
It would-
not
it would notice.
abnormal.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
I
mean,
take
this is
some
just-
earth on you.
Yeah, she'd sort of drag herself in and be like, "What are you talking about, baby doll?"
Gloves and your boots,
Like,
trouncing around in the earth for some reason.
it was a long day.
I can smell it on you. You've got a place with rocks.
She'll
I smell rocks on you.
she'll sort of like laugh and wipe some blood from her face and be like, "Hey, Ark, you like to fix stuff."
Yeah, I love being tasked with anything.
Yeah.
It keeps me busy.
I love
Like-
getting quests.
She's like, I mean, what if you got something that was really broken? Like really broken. I mean, when
Like X.
she's like,
Yes.
when do you just throw it away?
I try my hardest to fix it.
Yeah.
You can almost always put anything to use. You've probably seen Maddie running around with various tools fixing things too.
Yeah.
I mean, not with artificer skills.
It's very rare that I've ever found anything that has no use at all.
Yeah.
I just chunk it. Buy a new one.
Be like, yeah, that's kind of the spirit, isn't it?
Well, you know, my household's pretty rich, so. New pair of clothes
She'd be like,
every
yeah,
day.
mine too. And she'd just like sit down on the floor and dig some food out of the fridge and just sit there and eat it.
By the way, Ark, thanks for covering that late fee on the camera. You didn't have to do that, but
Here you go, Master Carpenter.
why'd you get another one?
He hands you a note.
Oh, I thought you had the camera. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
There's like 3 cameras and he just pulls them all out.
He just started taking the
Um,
cameras before he left.
That's what you show, apparently.
Oh.
Yeah, cameras.
The note
like,
just says like cool camera.
Ark would write down. Of course. Ark would write down what was. So you could probably get that. It might be less if you actually give him one of the crystals, because we didn't give him the crystal back either. The recording of it.
I get it. Okay, alright.
I don't know how they'll track you down. Maybe it's an upside.
I mean, there's
but-
cops and bounty
Yeah.
hunters.
Our heat goes up to 8.
No,
the camera.
Right,
We're
right,
on
right.
the train to 4.
Yeah.
The camera's gonna put us back.
That's a nice camera.
That
Hey,
crystal,
Farron,
though.
did you tell everyone that you were followed by
Yes,
ninjas?
that was what I was about. That was what I was going to get to. Is that if we can flashback within my 2 other flashbacks?
Well, we
that
get,
when
you
I-
say you get back.
Like once everyone gets back in the morning, I'll indicate that I was, also that I'm definitely still being followed. And specifically when I went to go and take a look at the docks, managed to lose them for now, but
Shouldn't have
They-
gone out alone. You're the one they're looking for, if anybody.
Ninja's gonna ninja.
That's very good.
I suppose.
Off
Sorry,
the
I-
poetic,
Arc
actually.
wisdom.
I felt that it might be.
Everyone just sits in
Yeah.
silence for 10 minutes.
Felt that it might
Anyway.
be. That it-
Besides the sound of like
no one
chiseling
said that in
rock.
this universe before. Like,
If-
that was
if
actually
anyone-
just profound.
It is,
Yeah.
it is.
My apologies, but I felt that there may be time-sensitive evidence at the scene. It looks like it was the Citadel people who were there.
Guarding it, yes.
Yeah,
Guarding
the Citadel was still investigating the area, so it could be that there was valuable information that could be lost in the morning.
Probably something bigger than an accident, maybe.
Oh, certainly, but
Well,
Nix will get up and walk.
Well, Megan, what did this place have to do with us?
wait, what?
Nix just gets up and just goes towards the door.
Well, wait, we going to look for your friends now?
Yeah.
All right.
Intercut.
What time is it?
This is before Ix left to do the thing.
Oh, sorry.
That's why. I assumed you were leaving because you were leaving.
Yeah, that's fine too.
Do have
She would still answer the same way, even though that's not what she was gonna go do.
Yeah.
Because this is one of those things where it's like I didn't want to interrupt the flow, but I'm like in
No,
the morning I would
absolutely.
definitely have said that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this, if we want to point out that like this was involved in a previous mission.
Ark will say that though. He'll be like, "What's the sin have to do with us? Why are we interested in the sin again?"
And Maddie and Ries, I guess, will explain. That their first is Ries.
there.
No, sorry, Farron.
Farron.
Getting used to names. Sorry.
Oh, that's fine.
Jack,
Just make sure.
explain.
Yeah,
Yeah.
to make sure. Yes.
We're
good
adjacent.
at it.
Yes. The first time we worked together was just the two of us, and we were sent to a ship that was owned by the Salty Dogs,
Yes.
who apparently operate out of that tavern,
Yes.
to find out who they were smuggling for the artifact that we eventually all worked together to grab for, and that's where we found out it was Lord Jaro. And Maddie's theory that she'll espouse again is that Lord Jaro decided to start investigating how he lost hold of it and is cleaning up.
Loose ends.
Uh-oh.
Oh, Joro.
Well,
Something tells me we'll be seeing that face again. Dad.
He's got too good an accent not to read it.
Yeah,
well,
seriously.
all we gotta do is go to the inn again. That was the guy that was at the inn.
Yeah.
The tavern, I mean.
He was
The
at
tav-
the Broken Anvil, yes.
Just gotta go to that tavern again at the same time, probably.
We just went to all this trouble to get it pinned on someone else.
Unless he was already following us in. That wouldn't be good.
He didn't seem too interested in us at the time. It's hard to believe he just let it go.
He was just interested in his meal.
Yeah.
God, I love eating.
It's good.
That's out of character.
Oh, okay.
Yes.
That doesn't track at all.
Ark would be like, you're wrong. I can eat him.
I think Ix is not quite ready for the hard stuff.
Yes.
Anyway, so then the stuff happens during the day. Lynn, what are you up to during the day?
It's going to be about time for Lynn to indulge in her vice.
Oh, I think that's more of an evening time activity. Would you agree? So let's talk about what Ix and Maddie do for right now.
Oh, one quick thing. If we're doing day stuff, Maddie should probably meet with Jail about the job.
I thought that's what you guys were doing now.
Oh no, that was looking for a trainer, mercenary friend of his.
Well, you guys, I mean,
I
you
guess-
can do both.
I don't know if Maddie would bring Ix to meet Jail yet.
Oh, okay, that's fair. That's fair. Well, you guys sort it out. I'm just here to conduct. You
Yes.
do your own.
I feel
lists.
like by
This is the
obligation, you guys have to bring Ix into every scene.
Yeah.
Well, this one's a little spotty, so Maddie's gonna go to this one alone with apologies.
I peek up. I stealth that in there.
She's trying to convince her
Hey,
king.
I'm
No,
here
no,
now.
no, no. So I think that Ix is
Yeah, you
like,
can
being
stealth.
very no. I think Ix is being very deliberately like, no, I'm coming with you, and like you could probably try and leave her at the door,
Yeah.
like down in the lobby or something.
Ix actually wouldn't really fight to go. Like she's. I mean, if you were like, don't come, she's not gonna fucking like. She has no self-worth, so she's not gonna argue for her.
I'm just
spot.
more interested in things where multiple people go.
Yeah, no,
I certainly agree. Yeah.
Yeah, but do as you like.
Yeah.
Kind of motions Ix aside a moment.
Stabs you in the heart.
No.
It's like, what do you got, doll?
Look, the job's with the cop. Maybe it's better I go this one alone, huh? I won't be long.
She's like, I mean, I haven't done anything illegal.
Today.
Insight check?
I mean, you literally
You
witnessed
probably
her.
fooled her.
You literally witnessed her do
did
something
rob a
illegal.
train.
Oh,
She has pills in her cheeks like a chipmunk.
yeah.
She's
Are-
robbed the
is-
train.
Are narcotics illegal though?
Some of them are.
The ones she has are definitely not.
Maddie wouldn't
sanctioned.
necessarily know which ones are, what their effects are, and stuff. She
Those
has
clearly aren't coming from house narcotics or whatever. whatever medicine cabinet we can get this shit
House-
from.
House medicine cabinet. For all your medicine cabinet needs.
House narco.
Yeah.
Narco. My favorite
Polo?
dog. No.
Danny narco.
She'd be like, hey, do what you gotta do, and then we'll swing by a few bars and see if we can track down Sig.
Alright, I won't be long.
Yeah.
Maddie goes off to meet with Jail.
Sure. Jail is more than happy to see you. She's like, listen, yeah, I can't pay you guys a lot, but obviously, I'll really appreciate it.
Of course, how much can you come up with? They're gonna ask.
3 coin.
And you'll help with the thing you asked
Yeah,
about?
of course.
Alright.
Cool.
He agrees.
Good. Glad to hear it. So, obviously, like I told you before, this is in the neighborhood of Fallen, and we've, been trying to keep a hold on the place as best as we can. If anyone, security forces or anything like that gives you any trouble trying to enter the area, just let them know you're with me. I'll pass, your description along at least. You're not bringing any, real troublemakers along with you, I assume.
Down the hall.
Maddie kind of gets a funny look on her face. Says, they won't look
So
like
much
real
blood.
troublemakers.
kind of.
Well, she wasn't being deceptive, so I guess deception.
Persuasion.
Yeah, persuasion is probably the relevant one because she wouldn't lie to her friend about that. I mean, she's.
No, of course not.
That is a 22.
I'm trusting you on this, Maddie.
I know.
Okay, good.
Ix is like passing out at the door.
Yeah, anyway, like I said, we can't figure out how these guys are getting in and how they're, displacing the undead in the first place. So, maybe a stakeout, maybe some sort of a surveillance, if you got anything like that at your disposal. Just figure out who's doing it and get them to stop one way or the other.
We can take care of that, I think.
Cool.
Right up our alley.
Good deal.
All right. When do we start tonight?
Sooner the better.
All right. Probably tonight or tomorrow night at the latest.
All right, I'll be here.
Cool.
Thank you.
Yep. And Maddie,
Leaves off and returns. And
Ix is like leaning against the wall, half asleep.
Let's go.
Yeah. Yeah, we'll see if we can track down my bud.
All right.
And she'll just like, I assume there's a few like adventurers, taverns, and
Absolutely,
that are
yeah.
the
There's
sort of
so-
usual haunts.
Yeah, there's a couple of different neighborhoods. You go to the bad one.
Yeah. And she'll just bring Maddie through like a string of bars, and like they have to get a drink at everyone.
Of course.
Like, if we're there,
You
we're
gotta blend
drinking.
in.
Yeah.
If we're there, we're drinking.
yeah, Maddie does slowpoke her. She's
Sure,
not.
sure.
Definitely going heavy on these.
But yeah, so she'll just sort of float through a few bars that she would normally see Sigmund at and see if she
Sure.
can track him down,
So
or anyone from his company.
yeah, so you're able to put together that Sig was supposed to be back in town by now, but from what you hear, he and his company have been out on a job that's taken longer than has been expected.
Who am I getting this information from? And what's the context here? 'Cause
Sure.
I'm gonna have follow-ups.
No, absolutely. So I think this is probably from other adventuring companies that, they're not direct competition or anything like that. They don't usually work together. It's just when they're in town together, they drink and trade war stories, that kind of thing.
Just be like, well, what kind of job? What do you mean longer than expected? Are they all right?
I'm sure they're fine. They're just. This is maybe just one of the other adventurers,
Yeah.
maybe like a tiefling or something like that. That is, you don't really like hang out with, but you know her on a first name basis
Sure.
at least. Way I hear it, they're sent out to the Mournland, which that's always a little bit dicey. I'm sure they're fine, but
Probably know about the Mournland.
so the Mournland was basically ground zero for the very end of the last war. Back during the last war, there were 5 nations, and now they still say 5 nations, but there's really just 4.
Sounds pleasant.
There's Breland, and there's Thrain, and there's Aundair, and there's Carnath, excuse me, gosh. It used to be Sire, and Sire was one of the most technologically advanced of the nations of Corvair.
Home of the Warforged.
It's where the Warforged were invented. They didn't fight exclusively for Sire, but the very best of the Warforged were made there. And there were all kinds of magical advancements and all kinds of magical experiments. And one day, 4 years ago, it blew up. The very capital exploded, and the rest of the nation had maybe about a half an hour to beat it to the borders as a slow gray mist spread, mystically expanding to the exact borders of Sire,
How convenient.
devastating everything in its wake. Nothing lives there now. Nothing can be healed there. Nothing can be resurrected there. It is just a desolate gray battleground that steeps the life away from everything. Perhaps the only good to come of it is that the devastation was so great that it convinced the other nations that maybe they should set aside this century-long war that they've been fighting and figure out some way to live in peace before it happened again, however it happened.
Yeah. Well, she'll say, well, hey, if you bump into him or any of his folks, just have him shoot me a line down at the Broken Anvil. I'll just pick up messages there.
Yeah, you bet.
Next couple of days or so, they should probably be back, huh?
Of course, yeah. It's Sig. He'll be fine.
Yeah. Thanks.
Wink, wink.
Maddie will say, "Oh, I hope your friends are all right."
Ix will walk out.
Goodbye.
Yeah, she'll literally
Yeah.
she'll not respond at all. She just walks out the front door.
Maddie follows her back.
Sure.
Yeah, and she's just stopped outside, like with her arms folded, looking at the ground. Just like, well, sorry, not much good to you then.
Wouldn't argue that, but we'll find them another day. They'll come back.
Yeah,
Come on, let's go.
yeah.
I think we'll cut just a little bit later after the sun has set. And Lynn has made her way to another bar. Describe this bar to us, Lynette.
This is not a good bar. It's
there any?
actually a pretty raucous.
No, there's some really good bars.
No, seriously, this is a place that this is a town that has some places that know their drink, and
Yeah.
this is a place where people know how to drink a lot of it, and kind of gets a little bit rambunctious sometimes. It is late. It's early in the evening, but that's late enough for people to have already been several drinks in, and
Sure.
Lynette arrives. And
What does Lynn do?
she wanders over to the bar, nods to Taryn, the barkeeper, who is always there. Like, he never takes a day off. It's his place. He's always there. And she just sort of waits until, in a loud bar with people arguing from time to time, somebody spills a drink on somebody else and they accost. Lynn sort of steps between them and then picks a fight with whoever started being aggressive first. And then she gets her ass kicked.
What does that look like?
We have video of this happening to me. And Jeff can kick me in the face. Oh, that's not on Twitch rules, though.
No,
we
you
can't. He can't
No
kick me in
fighting.
the face.
So
on
I
stream.
think you step in the way of some big burly son of a bitch who doesn't know why you're in his face, but wants you out of it,
Yeah.
and heaves a big meaty fist your way.
And Lynn eats that
Eats
big
every bit of
meaty
it.
fist.
And just the idea of a single fist meeting someone else's shin just causes a chain reaction through the rest of the bar as fists begin to make their way towards chins. And just suspiciously, Lynn manages to mash her face into the wave of fists. Almost like reverse bullet time. Like just sort of like shoving her way.
Bullet time being used for the opposite purpose.
It's like the burnout crash mode.
Yes.
Yes.
Nice.
Oh
Fist
man,
in
that's
the
so
face.
And
good.
we're
I
treated
love
to just
that,
like
yeah.
this eclectic montage of just incredibly dramatic slow motion, like spittle flying and blood spurts as Lynn just gets the shit kicked out of her.
Super mosh pit.
Give me your vice roll.
4.
4. You heal 4 stress. What's Lynn look like at the end of this? Are you breathing?
Yes.
Are you an alive person?
She is staggering and unhappy, and as usual, Taryn sort of calms things down enough for Lynn to get out of the scrape. She's not a big, strong person. She's not a fighter. She doesn't have very many hit points.
No.
She is pretty well jacked out. The fight was going to happen anyways, and so she doesn't get in any trouble for.
Oh, it's still going on.
It's,
like,
yeah,
inside.
yeah.
It's clearly like this is
It's
just what
Thursday.
happens at 7:34.
Yeah.
This is the fight bar.
This is
for
why
fighting.
people come here.
Absolutely.
And so she sort of huddles behind the bars, watching the chaos from it, and poking at her really, really bruised ribs, hurting to breathe.
Tara looks down at you and is like, "Come on, kid, I got a cot for your back."
All right. Lynn sort of limps back there.
Basically, just carries you all the way back.
Turns out the lights in the room, and she's just quiet and staring.
And I think we'll wrap up there. Good game, everyone.
Nice.
Well done, well done, well done. Well, I think we have a job to do next week, so maybe we'll kick off things next week with this investigation of ghostly activities. in the neighborhood of Fall.
Spooky.
Sounds good, sounds good, sounds good.
I'm scared of ghosts. Is that gonna be a problem?
Listen,
They're not real ghosts. Like in the game, they're real.
I'm even more scared of fake ghosts.
everything's fine.
And we aren't expected to deal with the ghosts. We just got to deal with whoever's bringing them in.
At least they're not space ghosts. From coast to coast.
Yes, what would we ever do against him?
Yes.
Probably
Well-
spell him before we could dispense quest information. Thanks, Zorak.
Or we could do the campaign back in, outside where all the gas is. Wait, no, that's backwards. Anyway.
Yes.
Well, at least Bo showed up again this episode in another form.
It is my great displeasure to announce that I, Space Ghost, am dying. Thank you all so much for joining us. Thank you so much to everyone that has followed along. Thank you especially to our subscribers. Someone else got anything?
All right.
I think we're good.
I think we're good.
We think we're yes.
Oh, never
No,
mind.
nothing there.
Yeah.
Nothing there. Don't worry about it.
Yep.
Yeah. I'm tired. Hello, how are you doing?
Polo was Polo.
Hello.
great.
Is a good boy.
He's the best Polo.
Listen, everyone, just do your best. We've almost made it through.
No
We're gonna do.
guarantees.
Bill, I believe in you.
Good.
Just
You can
hang
do
in
it.
I
there.
believe in the you that believes in me.
Thank you. That's all that I'm really looking for here. Everyone, thank you especially for bearing through with our sound issues. That was embarrassing, but I'll learn how to stream one day. That's it. I'm so tired. I'll see you guys next time. Good night.
Goodbye.
Bye.